Needed to be ready, up, and good to go. Super excited for this season, as always. I'm joined by the one, the only, Denominate, our #1 co-caster in all of Mobile Mayhem. And definitely going to have a really interesting season for you guys. Lots of things going down, lots of changes to a lot of teams, lots of new teams, so many things to look forward to. We got a new format, we got new rules. Really everything you could have ever asked for in a season of Mobile Mayhem. But Day, how are you doing today? Yep, I believe we do actually have all of our teams in here and ready to go for game #1. Taking a look real quick as far as the map picks go, we do have Standoff Hardpoint as our first matchup. Game #2 is going to be Raid, Search, and Destroy. And for the final one, we are going to have, if we have it, Firing Range Domination, the map ban for Nova Imperium being Domination on, I believe, Hackney Yard, and Aura banning Hardpoint on Scrapyard. Both of those new to the competitive pool. We do have the Man-O-War and the Chopper banned as well, so I believe we should be good to go momentarily right here. Day joining the room, and with that, I believe we should be good to start game #1. Maybe. Yep. There we go. Yep. Yep, it's... Yeah, definitely two very different teams. Nova Imperium, obviously losing a couple players, for the most part pretty similar to what we saw last season. Bye-bye the only player that is new to the roster, at least as far as starters go. Obviously, Vague not on this roster anymore, as I believe he's actually a free agent right now. Jingo's going to be able to slide down into Hardpoint. Lots of contests coming in. It looks like this Aura roster is going to be one to keep an eye out for, containing a lot of players that have been really lethal in previous seasons. We got Main Mike and Soso. We also have Five, who's been around the competitive scene for a while, as well as Jingo and Retrospect. So this is really going to be a team to watch. You have seen them take pretty solid control in the first half of this one. Five laying down shots, not able to get the frag right there, trying to make the push on into the hard point. Looks like it's not going to be able to happen quite yet, as he does get the frag right there, and his team will take over the hard point. Going to be pretty close to a tie game as we do get ready to hop into P2. Now, apologies. I think we may have had a couple audio issues right there. Hopefully they have been figured out now, as we do have a nice lead forming right now for Nova Imperium. As you can see, Wally with 7 kills on the board already. Really solid start for him. High, and for Bye-Bye, who's new to the competitive scene, especially for Nova Imperium. We'll see if Aura is able to make this rotation, potentially hold down, control the hard point, at least for a solid amount of this hard point. They're really going to need it if they're going to be able to close that gap. And that was a really good hard point for Nova Imperium, as they got pretty close to max time following the almost tie game from that first half. One interesting thing to note is that we don't have the DRH or the ASM-10 banned right now. So what that means is the two most dominant guns in the competitive scene are still in play, and that is part of the reason that you'll see the majority of these players are using it. The HVK and the ICR, and I believe one LK, are the only exceptions that we see for that, but not too surprising to see most of these players that are top fragging right now pulling out the ASM-10, and bye-bye. Even though new to the scene, 11 kills on the board and absolutely fragging out right now for this Nova Imperium team.
Yeah, we definitely expect Imperium to come through with a strong performance. They've been such a strong team in the past. The one thing we definitely have to look out for this season with them, though, Bobby, is the same thing we had run into a little bit of an issue last season. Was Nova Imperium's biggest competitor. So We'll have to see if they take it a little bit more seriously this time. They've really busted open the gates here wide and have had a strong performance so far. High with 10 on the board, Wally with 10 on the board. Bye-bye CX with 13 kills on the board. Meanwhile, nobody at double digits on the side of Aura. Jingo just a kill away, so pretty close, but a 50-point lead right now for Imperium as they are getting a couple points there on the Hardpoint, but it is going to be Aura getting cleaned out there. And thank you so much, chat, for getting me unmuted. It's nice to have vocal rights again.
Yeah, I actually go back and forth between headphones, and I have to change my audio settings, but because of the 2-minute delay, I didn't have chat telling me immediately the mistake that I had made. We do have it fixed up, so thank you, everybody, for helping us out with that. As you can see, a pretty solid lead forming right now for Nova Imperium as they are currently up about 75 points, looking like that will continue to build. Currently, we do have Aura on the point, looking to close the gap once again. Keep in mind, we do have new rules for Hardpoint this season, so it is now a 250-point Hardpoint game instead of 150, and similar rules for Domination as well. Regardless, Wally not able to close things out right there. Main Mike getting a big 2-piece on the inside of the Hardpoint. That is going to allow Aura to maintain the Hardpoint for the time being. 5 has a sentry gun that is available to be used. Keep in mind, we have a lot of different rules this season. We have a ban on iPads. We have a ban on persistence. We have a ban on a couple of other perks, which I think we'll be able to go through following this game as well. But a very, very different format, also requiring each of the players to use a different operator skill so we don't see some of the Annihilator spam that we've seen in previous seasons. All that combined, definitely going to make this the most competitive season of Mobile Mayhem that we've had yet.
Yeah, chat, I will run down the whole list for you guys after this game since a lot has changed since Season 4. Bobby mentioned a couple of the key ones. Only one operator per team, no persistence. That really spices things up quite a bit, and man, Imperium is just absolutely tearing it up right now. I mean, 16 kills for high. Wally crossed over into the 20-digit mark. I mean, this has just been a constant kill feed for the side of Imperium. Aura are performing pretty well, but some of the players that we would expect to be doing a little better on this roster, Soso and Main Mike, are struggling towards the middle of the pack. And with only 50 points to go and 82 on the board for Aura, definitely starting to think that this one is just going to be a Imperium landslide for Game 1. As you mentioned, Domination and Hardpoint will both be a little bit longer. So if Aura can pull through a little better performance in Search and Destroy, maybe we can see those rules come into play for a Domination third game. And right now, it's looking all Imperium.
Yeah, they're up by 130 points. Retrospect has not been able to move above the 5-kill mark, and he's been sitting there for a while, honestly, at this point. Just kind of getting bullied. He may actually be AFK. It does look like he has disconnected as he just kind of sits back in spawn. Definitely an unfortunate situation for Aura, but also definitely could mean that they have a much better chance when it comes to game number 2. Hopefully they're able to get him reconnected and able to kind of mitigate any of the disadvantage that they might have had in those first couple. It looks like he is back, but going to die right off the start. It's finally Jingo pushing into the Hardpoint for Aura, trying to take control. His gravity spikes will not be able to land. It will be control going on over to Nova Imperium once again. Even though we do have a push coming in, as Retrospect is able to hop on in, he still hasn't been able to move above that 5 kill mark. And Nova Imperium just needing about 9 more seconds to be able to close this one out.
Yeah, and it's a super rough spot to be in if you are Aura. You can't give up any trickle points at the beginning of a hard point, as well as none at the end. And when it's under 10 points, that is an incredibly, incredibly hard margin to hold, as we do see Jingo picking up the kill onto Swag there. They'll maintain control of this hard point for now, but even if they hold this whole hard point, it's still Imperium 9 points away from victory. And by the end of it, it'll be still over an entire hard point for Aura to pull together a win. And we do see the Goliath in control by Wally, making the way on over to the hard point, is going to clear it out. And this is looking like an Imperium W here, unless of a blatant miracle happens for Aura. Jingo unable to make it to the point. That's a 250 to 132 commanding lead for Nova Imperium.
Yeah, that was a really solid start for them, and Nova Imperium was one of those teams that was kind of known as the iPad Warriors in seasons 1 through 4 of Mobile Mayhem, and because of that, probably didn't get as much respect as they deserve, but as you can see, Wally having no issue making that transition on over to phone. Not only did he have a minute and 51 on the hill, he went 31 and 9, more than triple positive right there. And with only one player going positive over on Aura, not too surprising to see this Nova Imperium team coming away with the win in game number 1. And it was a pretty dominant one. Honestly, the scoreboard I feel like doesn't even necessarily show how dominant of a win that it was, even though they did pretty much double up on this Aura team. They were absolutely in control for the entire game.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind, guys, with Persistence Band, when you see score streaks come out like the Goliath, or potentially even VTOLs or anything of that nature, they are much, much harder to earn this season with the ban on Persistence. So I believe it was, obviously Wally 31 and 9 was able to get that Goliath there towards the end of the game. Incredibly, incredibly strong front line for them to be able to push into that bakery hardpoint. And they were able to close out the win on that. So strong performance out of Wally. I mean, I do believe he had already been making the transition to phone, so really shows a lot of the practice here. But overall, the Nova team in general, even looking down at Swag 18 and 20, High 19 and 16, Bye 23 and 21, not super high as far as kill death ratio goes, but the rotations were strong and the suppressing fire when needed was there, and they were able to, like you said, almost double up over this Aura team, which a couple new players, but I mean, honestly, going up against Main Mike and Soso, I mean, those are two incredibly strong players that are very familiar with the Mobile Mayhem scene. So great performance from Nova Imperium here. Yep. Hopefully Aura are able to turn it around in Search and Destroy and push us to a game 3.
I am not able to take a look at the new rules because Discord is the source of your face cam, but if you want to run through those real quick, that would be great.
Yep, so gun skins are allowed all the way from common to legendary. Operators, the Hive, the Transform Shield, and the Ballistic Shield are banned. And, of course, the one unique operator per team, so can't be running 6 Annihilators anymore. You got to switch it up. As far as weapon bans, the only weapon that is outright banned is the NA-45 because sniper rifle rocket launchers, pretty unique. Lethals, we have banned trip mines, molotovs, and thermites, so lots of frags and lots of stickies coming through here in Season 5. Score streaks, we've got the UAV, counter UAV, care package, and hunter killer all completely banned. And the drone RC car is a limit to 2 per team. Since that is basically essentially a free kill and vision. It runs right to your enemy. So attachment restrictions is just akimbo. The banned perks are Persistence and Tracker. We have no banned character skins. And then, of course, the score limit changes as well as some maps that got changed up. So Hardpoint will be to 250 with 600 game time. Hackney Yard, Scrap Yard, Standoff, Raid, Summit, and Crash. We got to see some Hackney Yard and Scrap Yard the other day. That was pretty fun, Bobby.
Yes.
Domination will be 100 per round with a 300 time per round. Hackney Yard, Summit, Standoff, Raid, Firing Range, and Search and Destroy will remain a 6 score limit with Standoff, Raid, Meltdown, Firing Range, and Crossfire.
Yeah, the addition of Scrapyard is definitely going to be one that was unique for pretty much anybody watching, especially with Scrapyard being removed from rank quite a while ago in Call of Duty Mobile. So it's going to be fun to see how some of these teams play it. The Hardpoint, definitely really, really unique just in how much the points vary around the map and everything else. So it's interesting watching some of them, some of the teams adjust to the implementation of Scrapyard Hardpoint. Since some of the YouTube streams seems to be confused, iPads have not been banned in Call of Duty Mobile. iPads are banned from Mobile Mayhem. So that's, I assume that people would understand that when I said iPads are banned from Mobile Mayhem, that people would assume that that didn't mean for Call of Duty Mobile. But regardless, all of these players will be playing on phone, especially since it does seem like that is the direction that Call of Duty Mobile is heading for their competitive side of things. That was one of the rules for Stages 4. It would have been one of the rules for Stage 5 had it happened in 2020. But hopefully news for Call of Duty Mobile Competitive coming from Activision relatively soon. Definitely hoping to see that, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. But it does look like we've got all of our players readied up and good to go to hop into Raid, Search, and Destroy. So hopefully we'll be able to do that relatively soon. Obviously, Raid, not one of the new maps in the competitive scene, but definitely one of the classics and one of my personal favorites for Search and Destroy. Right now, we don't really know what the strong suits of each of these teams are. Obviously, we do have some precedent in that Swag has been one of the dominant snipers in Mobile Mayhem. We'll see if that transfers over to phone, but we saw in the semifinals and the quarterfinals last season that he absolutely was tearing it up with the sniper on a phone. We do actually have a substitution, I believe, Papa Taco, subbing in for Aura right here. If I had to guess, more than likely going to be the sniper primary for them. So we'll see what type of role he can play. As I believe this is actually his first Mobile Mayhem, but it looks like we are good to go for game number 2.
Yeah, and that is a new rule for Season 5 here, guys. Teams are allowed 1 substitution, so while that can benefit you if you have a sniper who excels in Search and Destroy, they need to remain in for the domination match should it follow up. So that is certainly something to keep in mind, but as we are getting ready to get on into game here, do you have anything that you would expect to see here, Bobby? I mean, I personally am leaning towards Nova Imperium just because, again, their history in Search and Destroy, as well as the raw strength of Swag on that sniper position. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity, but we may end up getting a lobby restart here if we don't get all 5 members of Aura connected.
Yeah, thinking back to the semifinals and the quarterfinals of last season, I just remember Swag absolutely dominating with the sniper despite having only spent like a week or 2 on it, so I don't anticipate that he's going to have a whole lot of trouble in this matchup. But keep in mind, he's going up against a relatively new team. We do see Sosa with the Locust in hand, Papa Taco with the Arctic 50 in hand, so we'll see who gets the upper side on that very, very aggressive B-side push for this Aura team, as we do have Jingo getting the plant. Very nearly got taken out by the nade right there, but he's going to be able to survive. It is now a 3v3 with Hex, Wally, Soso, and 5 all eliminated. Pretty quickly taken out. Papa Taco off to a strong start right here, as he's already got 2 kills on the board. The Arctic 50, despite some of the nerfs that it has received over the past season, obviously not hurting too much as of late. And Papa Taco is going to find another one. Swag able to spot him from the bottom side. Not going to be able to hit Jingo, however. Only got 12 seconds to work with. Main Mike alive on the other side as well. Currently in the middle of the smoke, and Swag's going to need to pull off a miracle right here. It's just not going to be possible. Only 3 seconds remain. Main Mike able to play time. Jingo gets the frag. and it will be Aura going up off the start with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Papa Taco absolutely popped off that round, picking up 3 kills for the team before Swag was finally able to drop him. And that really led the charge for the side of Aura. So I'm glad they're showing a little bit more signs of life. Because even though that first match, it was, again, a 250 to 132, it felt pretty much single-handedly in the side of Nova Imperium. So it's a good opening and good bounce back for Aura here to come off of such a one-sided loss and perform so well in the first round. Papa Taco picking up another kill for the team as he gets hacks. A couple kills traded back and forth. It's going to be an even 3-3 for both of these teams. And it does look like we have an A-side push coming out of Jingo, who is going to turn the corner, find Swag. Swag does land a hit marker, but it's going to be Jingo surviving and Jingo not planting.
And it looked like High right there was trying to play bait, as he did know he had his teammate on the backside of Kitchen right there. Not able to get the frag. Main Mike and Jingo still alive. Jingo with 3 kills on the board already. Definitely a solid start for them. And interesting that they haven't gone for the plant so far. It looks like he's got the perfect positioning on the High, but Wally on the top side going to make life difficult. Main Mike going up against a couple of his former teammates right here. He would love to be able to get this 3-piece, but with only 2 HP, not a whole lot to work with right there. He's not going to be able to close that one out, and it will be Nova Imperium. Taking round number 2 is, you can see, not really any big breakout players for them, but over on the side of Aura, Jingo and Papa Taco doing the majority of the work. Definitely 2 players to keep an eye on. It actually looks like Papa Taco was AFK for a second. I believe he is back right there, but definitely going to need him on the push as we do have Swag getting first blood right there. Smokes are going to go out. Bye-bye taking a couple of shots, but he will be able to survive for the time being. Almost opening up the push for this Aura team. I'm not sure how much I like that smoke play, as that really did allow them to easily push in on the A site. Should open things up, but Swag on the top side just causing absolute mayhem for them. He's going to get taken out by 5. It's going to be a 2v2 right here. Wally and High still remain for Nova Imperium. And just like that, Jingo walking into the shots of Wally. He's going to be able to take out both players, and will be Nova Imperium going up to a 2-1 lead.
That was a big clutch up for Wally because Bobby scripted it so. But 4 kills for Wally on the board. High as well for the team, 4 kills. And Jingo and Papa Taco on the other side, also 4 kills to lead each of their teams respectively. And it's been surprisingly pretty close, actually. Even though the past 2 rounds did go over to Nova Imperium, the rounds really boiled down to just the last couple players. So really glad to see signs of life shining through so hard for Aura right now. Main Mike is able to pick up the trade to get hacks. Bye-bye does get hit markered, but will survive. It is did detonate the car there, maybe looking for a either a safe route out or potentially a environmental kill, but unable to find it. Still 4 versus 4, and we do have Jingo slowly making the rotation over towards A-bomb, in which we have Bye-bye in mid. High watching over mid as well, and Wally is kind of camped out, crawling around at this A-bomb. Might be able to actually find a couple kills as Aura are starting to work their way over.
Yeah, I believe Papa Taco for Aura has actually disconnected right here. I think that's part of the reason that they're playing as passive as they are right now. Right now, they're just trying to protect him and make sure that he has time to be able to reconnect, but with that happening, they've only got 35 seconds remaining before they need to get the plant down. Mike is going to try to push things here, see if he can get the frag. He is able to take out High. Not able to get the second. He is! What a turn onto Bye-Bye right there. And it's going to be Swag all by himself right here. The bomb is going to go down over onto the A site, even with Papa Taco AFK. Should be pretty easy for teammates to defend, and easily going to spot him right there, but obviously that'll give away his... Oh, what a shot onto Jingo! What did I just watch? Swag would love to be able to clutch this right here. Main Mike on the inside of Laundry. Unfortunately, Swag's not going to be able to close things out right there, but some big plays as he was able to pull out the sniper in time, and definitely an absolute beauty from him in game number 2.
Yeah, and hopefully, can Papa Taco reconnect at this point?
It looks like he is all the way out of the game, so unfortunately, Aura is going to be down a player for the rest of the game.
That is a incredibly rough situation to be in, especially since he was their sub in. So that's a rough spot. But again, they were able to pick up the win even without them. Oh, Bye almost able to find the kill onto Jingo there, but Jingo will make it out with, I think I saw 3 HP remaining. So rough spot to be in, but it is 3 versus 3 as they were able to get a 2-for-1 trade. Bomb is planted, and that now forces Nova Imperium to fight against the clock, but Wally, he doesn't care. He finds 2, likely going to find 3 here in just a second. But it is Bye jumping through the smoke, finding the kill. It's going to be a round going over to Nova Imperium. And this is starting to look pretty grim for the side of Aura. They opened up strong with a big win over Nova Imperium in the first round. They were able to win down a player the round before last, but now with it being a 4 versus 5 and Nova Imperium having a lead, you certainly got to think this is going to be a quick 2-0 victory.
Yeah, definitely just a couple of unfortunate games for this Aura team, who is definitely newer and seems like they could definitely pose a significant threat to a lot of the top teams from last season. Unfortunate for them that they do have 2 rounds in a row. Players dropping out. They actually are at a 3-1 advantage right here, as Bye is going to be the only player remaining. MAYHEM going to find an easy frag right there, and that'll actually allow them to tie things up at 3-3, so even with Papa Taco having disconnected, they're going to be at a 4v5 for the rest of the game. Definitely a big opportunity for them, is they could really set out to prove themselves. It was actually Mike spraying shots through mid right there, and had they had a sniper playing that right there, could have been really big. He's actually going to find 1 frag, make it 2 frags, could potentially stay alive and get a 3rd. High says not today. But they are going to have 2 players down as 5 and Soso look to clutch things up. Wally absolutely beaming. Soso is going to be the only player remaining right here. He will be able to take out High. Slimming it to a 1v2. Swag says not today. Shuts it down real quick. And does allow Nova Imperium to retake the lead at 4-3.
Yeah, Swag and Wally having such a strong performance over here on the side of Nova Imperium. Again, kind of as expected, Swag, an incredibly strong sniper, specifically in Search and Destroy. Wally, a player that, kind of performed around the middle of the pack for a while, but then towards the end of Season 3 and certainly all Season 4 was just an absolute monster, a top fragger, a trend setter for the season, as he was the kind of the first one to really pull out and use the chopper effectively, at least as far as mobile Mayhem games went. So definitely got to expect good things out of him, and opening up Season 5 with such a big performance just definitely looks good for this Nova Imperium roster.
Yeah, and you can see MAYHEM, even though this Aura team is struggling right now, absolutely frying. Gets 1 kill, could potentially clutch the 1v2. He's going to get hit markered by Swag. Doesn't have to land a whole lot more shots, but Swag pulls out the pistol, shuts it down really quickly. That's going to be a 5-3 lead, and it's going to be match point for Nova Imperium. Unfortunately for MAYHEM, not getting a whole lot of help from his teammates, as he does have 13 kills on the board to lead all players. Definitely a really good game for him, but just some unfortunate circumstances right here, is this Aura team has really not had anything go their way.
Yeah, and Swag, definitely kind of a well-known player for, if he gets a hit marker, he will whip that pistol out and one-tap you in a heartbeat. Seeing it right there, able to get the hit marker onto Mike over the head glitch. After taking quite a few bullets on his own, whips out the pistol, able to pick that kill up. Wally picks up a kill onto Soso. That's their 2nd kill. MAYHEM is going to trade it out for High. Actually, 5 and MAYHEM find a couple more kills as well. They find another onto Bye. Both players picking up a double kill. It's now Swag all alone. Can he clutch up for the team?
Oh, no.
Finds one onto MAYHEM.
Oh,
Can he
no.
find 5 as well?
Oh, no!
Right off the head glitch. Swag is a nut. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Swag, you didn't have to do it to him, but wow. What a play for him, and that's going to close things out. A couple of really big plays coming in for him as we saw the pistol swap one round and then the double snipes to close things out in the 1v2. Swag and Wally definitely the main players, especially in Search and Destroy for this Nova Imperium roster. Definitely got a lot to prove and showing that they have come to play in Season 5 of Mobile Mayhem as they do get the 2-0 victory versus Aura.
Yeah, that was such a strong performance for Nova Imperium. Unfortunately for Aura, they did sub in Papa Taco, who was, I mean, honestly, he was killing it, right?
Yep.
I mean, he was doing great for the team, and unfortunately, he disconnected completely from the game. So, not really sure what the ruling is going to be on that. Unsure what happened over there, but unable to pull together the 4 versus 5 win, despite such a strong performance out of main Mike, as well as Jingo. I mean, Jingo kind of a newer player to Mobile Mayhem here. I have to say, he's definitely going to be one of my players to watch in the future as I'm just peeking on over because I already closed out of the game. I think he had 6 kills at the end of that game. So for a new player, pretty strong opening performance, especially in a 4 versus 5 scenario up against a team like Imperium. So definitely want to check out more of him in the future. But that's going to be a 2-0 victory for Nova Imperium over Aura. And we should be getting ready to get into Tribe versus Eleventy. And definitely going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, this is one that I'm really looking forward to. This Tribe Gaming roster is one that is completely different from last season. They may have a couple returning players, but definitely missing a lot of those key pieces. Seeing them match up against Eleventy, which is kind of a conglomeration of a lot of the top Latin America teams that we've seen in the past, definitely going to be really fun to watch. And at the same time, the players that Tribe has picked up, definitely not anything to scoff at. So this is going to make for probably one of our best matchups of the night. Taking a look at our full schedule for the night, we do have Nova Imperium versus Aura, game number 1, Tribe versus Eleventy, followed by NL Esports versus Zygnus, ExSet versus Nova Invictus. I believe Exiled versus Fierce is going to be off stream, but that does give you guys all of the games that will be happening on stream. And Zygnus definitely going to be one of the teams to watch as well. So we do now have 2 Latin America teams representing right here. Eleventy having Zia and Parka, who are 2 of the biggest content creators in the Latin America scene. At the same time, 2 of the top pro players for the Latin America scene. Going to be interesting to see them reunited following their Infinix days. I'm really excited to see how they play together today.
Yeah, and think we should definitely see one more interesting addition to this team here today, at least if the rosters look the same as they did in on Tuesday. See if I can pull it up. Yeah, we could potentially here see Yuji on this lineup, Bobby.
Oh, really? That's actually very interesting. So obviously, Yuji, one of the previous formerly Infinix, then NL players, so he does have a good amount of experience playing with both Zia and Parka. Obviously, there's substitutions that can be made on the team. And he actually is going to load in for Eleventy right here. So that's going to be a big pickup. Keep in mind, all these players playing on phone rather than on tablet. So the playing field is really going to be evened as far as devices go. Just as a player that had played previously for Infinix as well, not really a long-time player, but definitely a solid option for them to pick up. More than likely, if I had to guess, oh no, Zia is not going to be joining for game number 1. Zai is going to be joined for Eleventy. Obviously, this is Eleventy's first season in Mobile Mayhem, but they have been one of the top teams in the North American region for a while, so definitely excited to see how they are going to match up against this Tribe team.
Yeah, and if we do see Zia come in, I would expect to see a game 2 search and destroy switch in when necessary, because Zia obviously a pretty dominant sniper player, and I don't want to say bad at respawn, but definitely a much stronger search player.
Yep.
So, and again, Zia not bad at respawn. I'm like, that's not what I'm getting at. But if they have him benched right now, it could obviously be just scheduling conflict of some sort, but also leaves a lot to be told about what the rest of this team may perform like. So definitely got to be excited for that. UG, obviously a player we know and love from Infinex in previous seasons. Not really a huge top fragger for the team, but always consistent. I mean, UG has definitely been a player that we never really see him do bad, right? Like, it's always upper end of the middle of the road.
Yep.
So very, very consistent player. Definitely excited to see him here today playing with a new lineup. And we should be getting ready to get in the game here pretty soon. And, I mean, again, as you mentioned, this tribe roster, totally different. I think it's pretty much just Bolu as a returning player, at least for who we have in the lobby.
As far as the starters go right now, it is Bolu as the only returning player for tribe. So definitely going to be interesting to watch. A lot of chat is saying that Zia is retired from competitive. I believe that he's listed under the official roster for...
He's listed on the roster.
Yeah,
yes.
he is officially listed on the roster for 11T, so that's not to necessarily say that he's 100% going to play, but if they do need a substitution, it looks like he is at least an option for them as far as substitutions go. For those of you wondering what the tribe roster looks like right now, like we said, Bolu, the only returning player for them as far as starters go. Slothy joining... trying to think what team he was on. It may have been Fierce that he was on last season, if I'm not mistaken.
I can probably pull it up real quick.
Saizu, who I believe was not a roster player. Aflows, who has been kind of back and forth in the competitive scene, did make his return last season. And Jez, who I think was also a Fierce player, but obviously right now this is kind of a mixture of a lot of different teams. Very, very different from what we have seen in the past. I do really appreciate the raid from Parka as we do get ready to hop into the gameplay. It is definitely going to be a great one to watch, and right now just waiting for our players to ready up before we're good to go. Just a reminder, we do have a couple different bans. Day, if you could read out the weapon bans, and actually I think I can actually check that out on the... Nope. The best of 3 screen has not been updated yet, so if you could read those out.
Yep, absolutely. Since we were talking about it, Jez and Slothy both came over as subs from Fierce. So that is definitely something to keep an eye out for, as Fierce, at least last season's roster, was the ones to kind of take it all, and as well as Forsaken, who had MVP of the season. So definitely be keeping an eye out for Forsaken as we get into some of our upcoming games. But we do have the weapon bans for this game, Bobby, or the season bans?
This game.
That would be Tribe banned the DRH and 11T banned the Chopper.
Wow, so the ASM 10 not banned. Just for those of you who are not aware, most people would consider the ASM 10 to be the best weapon this season, just because of the fact, even though the DRH does have a faster ADS time, the ASM 10 is an automatic 3-tap to any area on the body. So in order to 3-tap with the DRH, you do need to hit the upper body or the head, and with ASM 10, you can shoot somebody 3 times in the foot and still get a kill. So definitely makes it a really big force to be reckoned with. I appreciate the donos in chat, and obviously the tribe hype, the 11D hype. These are probably going to be the 2 teams with the biggest fan bases throughout the season of Mobile Mayhem. So obviously this is going to be one of the biggest matchups that we've had. I'm interested to see how the tribe change of roster maybe changes the fan base a little bit, as obviously a lot of their fan base was around the roster that they had. I believe Marshy is one of the other players that they did have remaining for the team. It does look like all of our players are readied up and good to go for match number 2. So it looks like we'll be hopping into it as We're going to be playing Hardpoint on Summit. Obviously, the ASM-10 not banned, the Man of War not banned. Should be interesting to see how the meta plays out, and potentially some shotguns in play as we see Aflows with the shotgun out. We'll see whether or not he's going to stick with that, but making the switch, it looks like, to the MP7, aka the QXR right there. Definitely excited to see how the meta shapes up for this season of Mobile Mayhem.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be an exciting one ahead of us. Obviously, as you mentioned, we'll have to see how the fan base follows Tribe, specifically without our boy Tectonic Tentacles. So, yeah, I believe he is a free agent right now as well. So, and keep in mind, guys, the rosters are not locked until the 3rd week of Mobile Mayhem. So just because you see something right now does not necessarily mean that this is going to stick. We could see players returning to teams. We could see players just completely jumping the wagon and getting on some other teams. So we will have to see. So far, it is Tribe with a pretty sizable lead on the first objective here. Not a lot of contest from the side of 11T, or at least a lot of suppressing fire coming out of the side of Tribe. Bolu and Jez were doing exceptionally well there, and then UG was able to come through, pick up a couple of kills. Zai picks up Slothy. Wiro the kill onto Flows as Flows was making the backside rotation out. But that is going to be basically all of the points that got captured from point 1 going over to the side of Tribe, and Tribe look poised to set themselves up for most of the points on objective 2 as well. And Tribe is flooding the feed right now, Bobby. That was like 5 or 6 kills in a row going straight on over to the side of Tribe. UG and Wero finally able to answer back for the team. And this may be a little bit of an opening break. Man, just as I say that, my goodness, Tribe is absolutely killing it right now.
I mean, between Slothy and Jez, they've already got 13 kills, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's more than all of 11T has combined right now, as they are absolutely frying. Already up to 15. They are going to give up a little bit of time to 11T right here, but Bolu's going to shut it down. He's going to get the 2-piece, and just like that, Jez and Bolu holding down the hard point all by themselves. Jez gets the frag right there. He is going to get shot from behind by Yuji, who is moving up to 7 kills, but Bolu, the team leader, the IGL, pushing in, making plays time and time again. Even though the hard point's unoccupied right now, it looks like Tribe is really set up for the next hard point as well. This is one of the most difficult ones to flip. They're definitely putting themselves in the position that they need to be in order to win this game, as they do take a really early 50-point lead.
Yeah, it's been basically all Tribe all game so far, filling up the feed left and right. UG and Wiru doing exceptionally strong on the side of 11T, but just not quite enough to really carry the fights through to 11T's favor. They're finding kills, but unfortunately unable to find the kills that get them any sort of objective control or push. And it's definitely got to change moving forward, because specifically Summit P3 and P4 are incredibly punishing, with the respawns being so far across the map with very limited ways to traverse over to that hard point. So typically we're going to see teams try to anchor those spawns for their team and then get set down. And I actually think 11T played this really smart here. There was essentially no way that they were going to get any points on P3, so they went ahead and made the strong rotation over to P4, got set up. Unfortunately, still didn't quite work out for them, as they did get gotten right off of the point. But man, this is a Tribe. I mean, this is just a Tribe kill fest.
This is an absolute slaughter. There's nobody. There's one person usually in double digits right now for this 11D team, and Tribe is absolutely running through, even though they were perfectly set up on P3 or P4. Tribe just completely shut it down. Aflows is not missing a shot right now. Where is finally able to get the kill on the top side. He's got the ASM-10 out. Might be able to get the contest for a little bit right here, but Bolu's gonna shut it down. Tribe is completely in control. They got 10 times the amount of points of 11T right now. And keep in mind, this is not a bad 11D team. This is a number of players that were competing for Infinix for the COD Mobile Championships, a number of players with a lot of experience in the competitive scene. And they have just not been able to do a thing against this Tribe roster who, despite losing a lot of players that they had in the previous season, is not struggling even the tiniest a bit, as they are up 175 to 15.
Yeah, I mean, it's massively one-sided as far as the scoreboard goes here. Tribe has done such a phenomenal job of anchoring spawns, of getting the rotations that they need, as well as just, frankly, picking up the kills they need. Everybody on Tribe except for Sizu in double digits, and he's not far off at 8 kills. Looking over at the side of 11T, Yuji and Wiru, again, still just the 2 players kind of really leading the charge for the side of 11T with 12 kills on the board apiece. But so far, it hasn't really been enough. The rest of the team is unable to make the strong rotations over that they need. Yuji does pick up a big kill onto Jez there, but it's going to get dropped by Slothy. And as we get ready to move into P2, the remake, it gets dangerously difficult for the side of 11T to make a comeback, specifically getting into the second rotation onto P3 and onto P4, which Tribe were just so dominant with, as well as if Tribe were to hold this for the entire point uncontested, they could have ended it there, but it is going to get interrupted there, so it will at least go to another P3. But again, Tribe have just been absolutely dominant with the map control.
I mean, Bolu right now is just cooking everybody that he sees. A-Flows is going to get a double kill. Jez is going to find one. Everything going the right direction for Tribe, who is looking like, based off of this matchup, not really missing out on a whole lot with the loss of a couple of players from their starting roster. You can see Jez, Slothy, A-Flows, even Sizu, who was struggling toward the beginning of the game, already up to 15 kills. There's nobody on 11T that is above that 15 kill mark, and I think that kind of says all that you need to say in regards to the scoreboard right now. Is it's going to be 241 to 42, a 200-point lead for Tribe. I was really hoping that this was going to be a close one, but it seems pretty obvious, at least for game 1, that that is not going to be the case. Bolu is fragging out of his mind right now. Just thought maybe I've got a chance to get a little bit of time for my team. We actually are going to have Bolu taken out by the FHJ right there. A little bit of time coming in for 11D as it is 249 to 53. That means 11D cannot give up a single second of hardpoint control for the rest of the game if they need to come back right here. And with, what is it, close to 200 points needed, it doesn't really seem like that's likely to happen, as we do have Tribe getting the break and the win right there.
Yeah, Tribe picked up a strong anchor there. We're able to get the 1 point that they needed. And I gotta say, Bobby, I'm kind of surprised how many Goliaths we're actually seeing despite persistence being banned. I mean, it's getting to the point where I've actually checked a couple times just to make sure nobody's got persistence on. But just such a strong performance out of Tribe here. And again, an entirely new roster. So I'm kind of shocked at just how well they performed together. Their rotations were strong. Looking over at the side of 11T, we finally got players into double digits, but for the most of that game at least, it was Wiro and Yuji just trying their best to hold off the members of Tribe. But when you have Bolu dropping 23 and 11, Jez dropping 20 and 10, Slothy 20 and 16, not quite the double KDA there, but still so many kills on the board. Jez 222 on the in-game timer for objective control, as well as Bolu with 132 to his name as well. So dominating performance coming out of Tribe Gaming here. I mean, even more one-sided than the Imperium versus Aura game earlier. So definitely hoping 11T can put together a better performance here for Search and Destroy. And, you know, it's... I definitely don't want to see another blowout like that. There's too many players on 11T that I like to see them go down like that.
Yeah, that was just so surprising to see. There was not a single negative player over on Tribe, and especially for a roster that is just recently formed. It would be one thing for it to be the Tribe team that had played together for every single season on Mobile Mayhem. They had played champs together. They'd been scrimming together for months and months on end. But this, for the most part, is a brand new roster. There's a couple players coming over from Fierce, but even Slothy and Jez, I don't think had been on the same team for too terribly long. And they just seem to have absolutely zero issue with anything that was happening in that game. And Tribe would just dominate. We did see Parka. Obviously, Parka has played he has played on tablet for a good amount of time that he has been in the competitive scene. So probably part of the reason that he has struggled right there and will likely improve more than most people throughout the season, just because he is newer to making that transition, and hopefully we will see some more improvement as we do get ready to hop into Search and Destroy. Game number 2 is going to be Search and Destroy on Crossfire, which is always an interesting one, just because it is very, very tactical. Snipers are always super, super important. As far as snipers over on Tribe, Aflos used to be known as one of the top phone snipers in all of Call of Duty Mobile, so definitely be keeping an eye on him. I don't anticipate anybody else will have a sniper out, but just with how sniper-heavy Crossfire is, I've got a feeling we'll probably see somebody else pull it out, but we'll have to wait and see on that end.
One would definitely think with the long vision range over the map, so we'll have to kind of see. You know, obviously, as you mentioned, you would expect Aflos to pick up the sniper just based on the history of him being a phone sniper. I mean, I believe we've seen Jez snipe a little in the past as well, if we're considering possibly a double sniper. We've seen Bolu snipe a little bit in the past, not particularly him starting the round out with a sniper, but we've definitely seen him pick up a sniper in the past and put in some mad work. So definitely something to consider, as the skill level is there. Just can we get the group organized to do so? And based off of that first match, I would say Tribe are definitely ready to go into the Search and Destroy matchup here. I haven't seen obviously too much of 11T play, just obviously language barrier and time barriers and things of that nature. So we will have to see how this team performs specifically together. Because again, there's a couple of players that I know and expect to be good over here. Obviously Parka, UG, Wiru with such a strong performance in game 1 there. So there's a lot of untold story here for the side of 11T.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Obviously, UG top fragging for the team right there has always been one of those really, really consistent players for NL, previously Infinix, so not too surprising to see him with that type of performance. I'm expecting more from Parka in game number 2 as we do get ready to hop into Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy in past seasons has been very hit or miss for Tribe, and obviously with this being a very different team, could be a very different I don't even know how to really say it, but previously Tribe had been known for their respawn, then they were known for their Search and Destroy, then they were known for respawn, so they kind of go back and forth. Obviously, with Bolu as the IGL, I feel like he is one of the cornerstones for that team, just because of, regardless of where he goes, even if it's not with Tribe, even if it's in like a content creator showdown, Bolu is one of those players that always plays a really big role just because of his understanding of rotations, where players need to be, calling out everything else. So he's always a player that you got to watch out for. Any team that has him on their roster is always going to pose a threat, and showing exactly why in that dominant game 1 on Hardpoint on Summit.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree with you. I'm super excited to get into this game just to see, again, specifically it being Crossfire, I want to know how these snipers for both teams are going to perform, because a lot of that will dictate how we feel about things moving on into upcoming weeks. When obviously the teams in the matchup change a little bit. Now, again, keep in mind, chat, no roster lock until the 3rd week of the season, so what you see now could change. I mean, I think, honestly, I think these two teams will probably remain just about the same. I don't see too many changes going on for 11T or for Tribe. But there's definitely some teams, having kind of the inside peek at some of the rosters that I could see things switching up a little bit for some of them with, specifically with the players that are available, as well as some of the players that I mean, obviously I don't think they're bad players, but there's some team rosters that the play style is just different for a lot of the players. So I definitely can see a couple rosters switching up, just for a little bit more synergy in their gameplay.
Yep. And I am seeing quite a few questions on the YouTube chat about the tribe roster. Tectonic is currently a free agent. He is not on the tribe roster. Little B has made the transition over to content creation, so he is not going to be on the tribe roster. I believe Leon is currently focusing on content creation as well. As far as I know, I think Nero is actually transitioning to the Latin America competitive scene. I'm not sure what that's going to look like for him. We could potentially see him moving over to NL or 11T. That is definitely a possibility. So that's something else to keep an eye out for. Marshy still on this tribe roster. Bolu still on this tribe roster as well. Childs, I think, is actually still on tribe as well. And I think that covers the majority of the players that started for them last season, if I'm not mistaken. If there's anybody that I'm missing, feel free to correct me on that one.
Nope, seems to be pretty good, and there's definitely some players and some teams specifically that I expect to perform a little bit better because they had made the transition early on to phones and struggled a little bit in the past couple seasons, where other players were allowed to use iPad. That's obviously for the most part, a pretty sizable advantage. So definitely got to keep an eye out for that. Players like, for one, Saxy, right? So Saxy was one of my favorite players to watch, and an incredibly strong shotgun player back in previous seasons. But again, team struggled a little bit because they were competing for NA champs. They were all moved over to phone. They were going up against iPads. And how big of a difference it makes at that level, you definitely got to put some weight on it, right? So I definitely think this season will be a lot more competitive. I think there's some players that in previous seasons have done exceptionally well that we may see teeter a little bit here. Obviously, Wally in our matchup with Nova Imperium earlier made that transition look pretty smooth, but I can assure you, not all players are going to perform that well. So it's definitely going to be an interesting season, and it looks like we are just about ready to get into the game. Boom, there we go. So game 2 between Tribe and 11T is kicking off, and it's going to be Search and Destroy on Crossfire.
Yeah, definitely not one of the maps that we've seen played a whole lot, even with it being one of the competitive maps last season in Mobile Mayhem. I feel like most teams typically not a fan of Crossfire, but you can see both teams electing not to ban it right here. It does look like Just will be sniping for 11T right now. A-Flows with a Kilo out, technically a sniper, and actually swapping on over to the DLQ, a little bit less surprising. Jez pulling out the Arctic 50. Usually looking to hit the initial snipe on the cross, not able to hit it through the smoke right there. And we do, off the bat, have 5 players remaining for each team. We do have a beautiful shot by Yuji right there. Lands the headshot onto Saizu, and that will give the advantage to 11D off the start. This is a very, very sniper-dependent map. I believe we actually have Bolu with a buy 15 in hand, if I'm not mistaken. Really just trying to hold down that backside angle. Anybody coming on over from Delhi going to get immediately shut down, and he's pretty content to sit on the top side as we do have a one-man advantage for 11T, potentially going for the A push, which is not something that we really see a whole lot. It's actually Tribe on the offensive, so I take that back. And Jez is looking to make the rotation on into the A site. We do have A-Flows finding the frag onto Just. It's going to be 4 players apiece. Jez taking out Parka right there. Parka, a.k.a. De'Eli. I'm probably completely mispronouncing that, but is going to be a bomb plant going in right there. Jez not able to... Oh! This shot through the smoke onto Weru. What a shot from Jez right there. That's going to be one player remaining. Slothy's going to shut down Zai. And that is going to be a Tribe Gaming lead off the start, 1-0.
Yeah, it was a big opening pick for UG, but man, the team just didn't get to do anything with it, unfortunately. It is a little interesting to see UG on sniper. Zai actually finds a clean shot through the smoke there. Is going to drop Saizu, so that is another opening first blood for the side of 11T, but we just got to see if they're able to pull anything together off of it. Again, they got the pick last time. They had 3 snipers and still have 3 snipers on the board and just did not make the push up. Jez is going to find the kill onto UG there. And that is going to even things up 4-4 between these two teams now.
Yep, definitely big opening picks. Like I said earlier, this is a very sniper dominant map. We can see 2 snipers still in play for 11D. I believe they previously had 3, but usually getting taken out off the bat. We do have A-Flow still alive. Bolu, very content to try to hold down the B site right here for his teammates. He does have the bomb in hand. Not really a whole lot to work with, though. We do have Jez finding the frag onto Zai. That's going to be really, really big. That's going to open up the B plant. Jez now getting really, really aggressive with this push as well. A couple players on the inside of Delhi right here for this 11D team. Jez is not going to be able to land the shot. Spots a sniper across, but not able to make it happen regardless. Not able to get the bomb plant down, but Jez landing the shot onto Weru. It's going to be a 4v2. Misses the initial shot. So many missed shots right there, and it doesn't really seem to matter as the B plant is going to go in. Jez trying to find the frag onto just the drop shots, go back and forth. Bolu says, screw this, I'm pushing in with a shotgun, and it's now a 4v1. Tribe's going to shut things down pretty quickly right there. And they will go up to the 2-0 lead off the start.
Yeah, it was a dominating hardpoint win for Tribe, and they're up 2-0 in Search and Destroy at this point. Jez absolutely killing it. 5 kills on the board for him. No opening pick so far this time around. Zai is going to miss the shot. But this is definitely where 11T need to start turning things around. Weru is able to get a kill, but just like that, Tribe finds the double kill. Parka and Zai are actually able to pick up a couple kills for themselves as well, but Parka is going to get dropped. It's now a 2 versus 1. Saizu, the only player on Tribe without a kill, and the only player remaining as well up against UG and Zai. UG opting out of the sniper this round, does have the MP7 in hand, and is realistically just kind of watching over the plant. They haven't gone for it, but he does have vision. He does know where Saizu is. And Saizu will be able to make the safe rotation over. Bomb is still not planted currently. And it does look like 11T know that they have bomb down at this point.
Ooh, and Saizu actually spotted Zai right there. He's going to be able to get the frag. He pushes it down to a 1v1 right here. It is going to be him versus Yuji. Obviously, the bomb still down over on the B site. Would love to find this pick. Close it out, not needing to worry about... Oh, I think he spotted him right there. He did. Not able to land the shot. Usually hearing the shots come through right there and not going to be able to spot him through. He gets the hit marker right there. All he's got to do is push up and through. See if he can manage to land the pistol shot. Usually he's going to be able to regen right here. That's going to force Saizu to pick up a shotgun right here. And that's actually going to be perfect for him. Pre-fires the wrong corner, now backing it down. He's only got 12 seconds to work with. He's got to be able to get the plant down or it's not going to happen. He's trying to go for the rotation to A. I don't know if he has time to make it happen. He gets there at 5 seconds. I think he's going to be able to get the plant go in. Yuji's going to spot in the perfect prediction. That is going to allow 11D to take their first round win and move things to 1-2.
Yeah, and 11T absolutely needed that there. Yuji clutching up for the team when they needed him to. 3 kills on the board for him. Zai able to find a couple kills as well, too. But, man, it has been mostly Jez and Bolu just absolutely commanding the flow of this game. Jez, just talking about him, picks up a kill onto Just. And that is going to be a 5 versus 4 advantage. Saizu able to get a kill onto Weru there. And kills going back and forth. Parka able to pick up one, but it's a 4 versus 2 right now, favor Tribe, with 2 points on the board to the 1 of 11T.
And Yuji's actually going to hit marker through right there. Unfortunate for him. Jez will still be alive. It is going to be a 2v4 with the bomb down. All the pressure is on for 11T, and Zy left all by himself. He's got the Arctic 50, but not going to be able to land the shots. He's going to get taken out right there. Tribe extending their lead right here to 3-1. Day, just FYI, I think I may be echoing a little bit on your end.
Well, I can definitely try to touch my sensitivity up a little bit. Nope, that is Zim. That is Zim unmuted.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yep, so as we get into this game, it's a 3-1 lead for Tribe. Man, Jez just bodying fools left and right, picks up a double kill for the team, finds Zy, then finds just 8 kills on the board for him. Another fast bomb plant this time on the A side, going over to Tribe, and with it being 5 versus 2 and only 35 seconds on the board, you absolutely expect this is going to be Tribe going into the second half with a 4-1 lead in first to 6. A-Flow's able to find the double kill to close things out. That's the 4-1 lead going over to Tribe, and this Tribe roster so far at least kind of looking a little unstoppable.
Yeah, they have been completely in control. Obviously, Jez playing a really big role for them so far, trying to find yet another first blood. He's seemingly been able to find it pretty much every time that they've needed it to, trying to hold down the A site right there. Yet to see a first blood yet. It's actually going to finally go over to 11D, as Yuji's going to be able to take out Saizu right there. And they really need to be control on this offensive side, as being down 3 rounds against a Tribe team that is seemed to be really, really dominant so far. Definitely not a spot where you would like to be. We do have the bomb in the hand of Justin. Yuji, just like that, gonna drop to Jez right there. It's gonna be a 4v4. Just hasn't even crossed the street. He doesn't have a smoke to work with. Not really a good spot for him to be. He does see the laser coming across from Delhi's side and could have potentially gotten the shot. He sees the barrel of Jez right there, but he's not going to go for the shot. Unfortunately, that's going to give Tribe the one-man advantage as Weird drops as well. Saizu has been taken out for Tribe, but right now they just seem to have all the right plays in all the right places. Nobody above 4 kills for 11D. Meanwhile, Jez all the way up at 10. He has been dominating all day long, overlooking onto the B site, not letting anybody get the plant over there, and now looking through the rotation on top side, barely misses the shot onto Zy, but he's going to know to make the rotation to prevent that B plant from going down. Only 20 seconds for Tribe to work with. The smoke is going to go in. That's going to make things more complicated, but he's going to spot Zy anyway. It doesn't even matter. It's now a 4v2. He wants all the kills for himself. Doesn't even matter. His teammate Bolu pushing in. Slothy's actually going to be the one to get the frag. Now looking for the final 11T player. It is going to be Park on the top side. With the Man-O-War not able to hit the shots. Runs out of time anyway. And it is going to be Tribe Gaming only 1 round away from closing this out at match point.
Yeah, Tribe are just absolutely frying left and right, specifically Jez, new to the roster, but not new to Mobile Mayhem, really having a strong breakout performance here. 11 kills on the board for him. Flows is able to pick up a kill onto Just. That makes 5 for him, but nowhere near the commanding lead that Jez has really provided the team. Slothy is able to pick up 1. Jez finds kill number 12. And with just 2 members of 11T remaining against 4 members of Tribe, as Zy is able to pick up 1. Slothy finds Yuji. Zy actually finds another kill, but again, all 3 remaining members of Tribe are collapsing onto him. There is the kill. I didn't get to see who that went over to, but the 6-1 victory going over to the side of Tribe. Bouncing off of that incredibly one-sided hardpoint as well. I mean, as far as Tribe versus 11T win, at least for this matchup, they weren't even in the same ballpark. Tribe just dominant left and right. Jez, MVP of the series, no doubt.
And I mean, when you look at the scoreboard, Bolu was almost bottom frag, and he was still double positive. That just gives you some perspective on how dominant this matchup was. Is just not able to get a kill. We're only getting one. Parka only managing to get two. And this 11D team is one that I definitely expected to see big things from, but just struggling off the start. I don't know if it's team chemistry. I don't know if it's the adaptation over the phone, what it is. But Tribe Gaming looking like they're once again going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with in Mobile Mayhem Season 5.
Yeah, absolutely. It was another quick 2-0 victory here for these teams. So I believe we have, two more matches ahead of us. And we definitely have some exciting ones. I mean, chat, we had to decide which of the games this season we're going to be off stream, since obviously we are having longer matchups, or ideally with the longer hardpoint and longer dominations, as well as we're having longer seasons for you guys. So you will get to see all of the teams. I promise you, we already have a lot of it laid out. All of the teams will get their rotation in. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's been super difficult deciding which games are going to be on and off stream, because just looking at the rosters and the competition level here, it's hard to not watch them all, right? I mean,
Yep.
Trying to pick which one of these matchups wasn't going to be on the camera was definitely hard.
And it's also just tough to predict, like, who's going to be good with so many of these players making the transition from tablet over to phone, because a lot of times there's players that don't really have any issue with it and they make it really smoothly. You can't even tell the difference. And sometimes there's players that are just, whether it be the size of their hands or whatever it is, they just can't make the switch on over to phone. And I don't know if that's what we saw today, if that was a team chemistry thing for 11D or whatever it was. Obviously, most of the Tribe players had previously been on phones, so not as much of a transition for them, and obviously showing why they were able to get the easy 2-0 win in our second matchup of the day. And
actually, we do have an update, Bobby. Tribe did have to DQ the first game.
Oh, wait, why?
They did not submit a screenshot for their device capture.
Ooh, so we're going to game 3.
We are going to a game 3 between 11T and Tribe.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Dave, for keeping me updated. Well, that changes things up a lot.
It does change things up a lot. Thank you, admins, for letting us know.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Day is all-time responsible for Discord updates, because his face cam
you have so much going on your end. If I can't watch Discord for you, then I am worthless.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going to be hopping into a game number 3, which is Domination on Standoff. Definitely going to be a fun one to watch. Keep in mind, this is our first domination of Mobile Mayhem, and also we do have a rule change for domination in moving to 100 points per round rather than 75 points per round, so the domination games will go a little bit longer as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and these are really the times we're going to see it, is in game 1, the hardpoint matchup, as well as in game 3 in the matchups that we do see it, because obviously if a team wins 2-0, you don't see the domination. But domination has definitely been pretty fun to watch, specifically with the removal of persistence, because a lot of times we just saw a lot of kills and not a lot of fighting over B. In fact, it quite often seemed more like teams were trying to draw out the first round just to rack up more score streaks for round 2, and then when 4 VTOLs come in and 3 Goliaths come in and stealth choppers, and I mean, even some of the more simple score streaks are just so punishing on a lot of the domination maps. Specifically looking at like firing range, for example, where B is just wide in the open, exposed. You drop a cluster strike on that, that's like 15 seconds. Your team just doesn't have to care about B. So
yeah,
definitely a pretty strong one. So again, with the banning of persistence for Mobile Mayhem, that's going to open up a big opportunity for these score streaks that are earned to just carry even more value, even if it's just sentimental, you know?
Yep. It's definitely going to make for a really interesting game number 3. We have been a lot more strict on our players as far as submitting screenshots, just for the sake of competitive integrity and making sure that everybody is playing on phone for the entire time. So that is the reason that Tribe did not get the win for game number 1, and hopefully going to open up an opportunity for 11. They really struggled.
Ruthless right
yeah.
now. Absolutely ruthless.
Not too surprising to see right there, as I mean, chat doesn't ever show mercy to anybody. That's just the way that it goes. I'm their streamer, and they don't show me mercy, so why should they show mercy to anybody else?
What a play by 11T.
Yep.
Oh man.
But it looks like our players are getting everything squared away, good to go for game number 3. Keep in mind, we do have a couple more matches coming after this one. Following this, we will have NL Esports versus Zygnus, and then after that, ExSet versus Nova Invictus. Honestly, Nova Invictus, one of the teams that I'm most excited to watch, just because they're very similar to the previous roster, but I feel like have gotten some really big upgrades. So hopefully they're going to be able to make some really, really big plays and really show out, as previously Nova Imperium had been the better roster as far as MAYHEM goes, but they'd been playing on tablets. So definitely hoping to see big things out of them.
Yeah, and Nova Imperium did have a strong performance here today, so definitely can't discredit the work that they have put in and the practice they have put in. And even to a degree, I would say what's the word I want to use? The taking seriously of the games. You know, quite often we saw Nova Imperium be very trolly in their matchups, but I feel like they came through and just had a dominant performance today. And you know, I definitely hope to see more of that out of them this season, because you know, you always want to see players playing at their best. So
yeah, it looks like our admins are trying to get all the players readied up, as they're dead set on switching up some of their lineups, or rather their loadouts, as we do get ready to hop into game number 3. This will be our first game 3. Well, I guess technically not our first game 3. Wait, what did you say uh-oh for?
About to find out. About to find out.
Okay.
Lots of new rules, chat. Not lots of new rules.
All right. I really wish I could. You know what? Let me pull up Discord on my phone.
Yeah, just pull it up real quick.
Let's see. We'll preserve Day's face, but I will pull up Discord. Wait, does that mean somebody's gonna DQ because they didn't submit?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Does that mean Tribe's gonna DQ?
That's so far what it looks like. What a turn of events that would be.
Wait, no way. Okay, I think we have a 2-0 win for 11T. So it looks like Tribe has not complied with the rules, and despite what the scoreboard has said for the last 2 games, it's going to be a 2-0.
The floor with Tribe. 2-0 victory to 11T.
2-0 win for 11T. I mean, I don't even follow the rules. The rules are simple. That's all I got to say. Congratulations to 11T on getting your 2 default wins.
Yep, that is a fun bye week, I guess. So 11T will pick up the 2-0 victory. Just for everyone in chat who is also confused, because me and Bobby were also confused. With the restriction being for players to play on phone, players are required to submit screenshots at the beginning and end of every game to prove that they're using a phone and not an iPad. And if you don't submit your evidence that you didn't break the rules, then you broke the rules by default.
Yep.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Unfortunate for Tribe, but I mean, it's a pretty simple rule. Like, just take a screenshot when the game's done. More than likely, if they weren't submitting screenshots, it probably means somebody was not playing on phone. So it looks like 11D is going to walk away with the 2. I'm curious what the standings are going to look like as a result of this. As you can see, we do have the standings for the new season of Mobile Mayhem. Nova Imperium getting the 2-0 win. Tribe and 11T actually in separate divisions. So Tribe's going to stay down at 0. And because of the... Okay, I'm seeing 11D at 10 points. I believe they will be moved up to 20 points.
Well, if you win by DQ, it's only 10, though, isn't it?
I thought if it was win by forfeit.
If you DQ both maps, that's basically a forfeit.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so 11D does get 10 points for that one because it was a double win by DQ. We're just having all sorts of fun things happening tonight, so... 11T is at the top of Division 1 as a result.
11T on top, confirmed.
Yeah, taking a look at our schedule, and next match has not been updated yet. NL Esports versus Zygnus. We are going to have map 1 being Hardpoint on Raid. As far as the map bans go, let me see if our BO3 has been updated. It has not, admins.
We have NL Esports versus Zygnus. Map bans are Hardpoint Scrapyard by NL Esports and Hardpoint Crash by Zygbus Splinter. Come on, man. Weapon bans ASM 10 by NL and HVK by Zygnus. Our first matchup will be Hardpoint Raid. Our second matchup will be Search and Destroy on Standoff. And should we make it to a map 3, it will be Domination on Firing Range.
Yep. The ASM 10, not too surprising to see as far as weapon bans go. Keep in mind, chat, I'm reading all of these from my phone because Day's face is the only thing that matters in Discord, so that's the purpose of my phone plays. The HVK obviously being banned by Zygnus. This Zygnus roster is definitely one that I'm excited to see as well. A lot of players from a lot of different teams that we saw in last season's Mobile Mayhem, so expecting big things out of them. And keep in mind, this NL roster is a lot different from the previous season as well. We do have Raven, I believe, known previously as No Recoil Raven. Kimwax, who I have no idea who that is. S-Thug, who I believe has the profile picture of Paludi right there, if I'm not mistaken, who is the manager of NL. And then we have Fish from NL. So lots and lots of changes for NL, as well as looking like part of this Zygnus roster is brand new. I believe we actually have 6 people in the lobby right now, so probably somebody being kicked out relatively soon, but definitely a really interesting roster watch. I believe Tatio is still on NL and will likely be playing for them tonight. We actually have a 225 player raid, or not player, person raid from Envoy. I appreciate it. I'm assuming he'll likely be joining for NL pretty soon. Thank you for joining. Can we get some raid hype in chat? For those
It
of
does
you...
look like the draft screen is updated now for you, Bobby.
Okay. For those of you wondering what the draft and bans look like right here, it looks like Crash Hardpoint banned by Zygnus and Hardpoint on Scrapyard banned by NL Esports. Appreciate everybody showing up, and yeah, like I said, for those of you who missed out on the last game, it was Tribe versus 11T. Tribe won very, very easily in both games.
Tribe
And
got swept.
they still got swept because they didn't submit the screenshots that they needed. That is one of the very simple to follow rules for this season. As a result, it was a 2-0 win for 11T.
And just because I did see a couple of you guys asking in chat, the reason the screenshot is important and the reason you can tell the difference is your tablet resolution for a screenshot is not the same as the layout for a phone. So it's very easy to tell in 99% of cases based off of if your screenshot is square or a rectangle. So,
Yep.
pretty easy to tell in most cases, but we're just working on getting a couple more players in here, guys. Hopefully getting everyone to verify their screenshots before and after the games. Do have Envoy loaded on up for the side of NL, and let me tell you, so far this is a very, very different NL.
Yep. We do have Envoy getting loaded in. I'm assuming that we'll probably have to... Oh, no, it's actually going to be Cheto loading in for NL. Obviously not surprising to see. The more surprising thing is that we don't have Titio at the moment. That could be a substitution that is made halfway through as we do allow... Now, freaking OBS Studio. Oh, crap. Hopefully it starts uploading soon. Oofers. Yep, OBS decided that it doesn't like me once again, and even though my little box is bright green, it said 0 kilobits per second upload, so that's just kind of the way that it be. We are back, and we should be good to go for matchup number 3 pretty soon. The starting roster currently for Zygnus, Cortez, Bear, Loyal, Ninja, and S-Thug. I believe Ninja previously for Fearless, if I'm not mistaken. Bear previously for Exiled, if I'm remembering correctly. S-Thug. I don't think S-Thug has played previously. We've had B-Thug, but I think S-Thug is new, and then Cortez and Loyal, unless those are a couple players that have changed their names, both new to Mobile Mayhem. But yeah, hopefully our players will be readied up pretty soon, and we'll be good to hop in to game number 1, which is going to be on Hardpoint.
Yeah, chat, I don't think anybody's accusing Tribe of being on iPad. It's the rules are the rules, and if you don't submit your screenshots, it just is what it is. I mean, follow the rules or consequences. So, unfortunate. It is a pretty big change that players will have to get used to, because that was not required in previous seasons, as device was not required on previous seasons. But this should hopefully be a good matchup. I mean, we definitely have a couple new players to competitive here, at least for Mobile Mayhem's sake. And they're going up against a newer NL roster, being Fish, Kimwax, and Raven. Not really players we've seen too much in the past, but we know what Cheto and Envoy can do, so we will have to see how this NL roster performs. As you mentioned, Bobby, there is a substitution slot allotted, so we may see Titio rotate in later, but I think it's Titio, Munoz, Envoy, and Cheto are the remaining 4 members of NL, and everybody else is new.
Yep, definitely going to be a fun team to watch. Obviously, NL previously, Infinix, one of the teams that was playing in the Latin America division for Stage 4 of the COD Mobile Championships, and has made the switch over to phone quite a while ago, so they're definitely expected to be one of the top teams in Mobile Mayhem. Zygnus has definitely put together a good roster. We'll see if they're able to match up right here. And hopefully a lot of these teams that we see, both the Latin America side and the North America side, will be making appearances in the COD Mobile Championships whenever we do find out information about it. Hopefully we'll have new teams popping up as well. You always love to see the competitive scene of Call of Duty Mobile developing. And Yeah, I mean, it's transformed so much over the past year. I mean, just thinking about how far Mobile Mayhem has come over the past year. In January, it didn't exist. Then it was Omen Challenger Series. Now Omen Elite doesn't exist anymore. Then there was nothing for a few months. Then it was Mobile Mayhem, and thinking of how far Mobile Mayhem has come from the $1,000 prize pool to the $2,500 prize pool, tablets to phone only, and also the evolution of the rule set that I think is going to cause a lot of these players to improve a lot more, just because it does minimize the impact of score streaks and operators and really focuses players to focus on rotations, map control, and winning those gunfights. Hopefully, overall, that will definitely do a lot to help these players improve as they do move more and more towards that top side of the competitive scene.
Yeah, definitely should be a fun one. You may know some of these players more than I do, Bobby. So for the side of Zygnus, I mean, is there anyone specifically that we should be looking out for as far as like sniper use, or like someone we expect to be just a top fragger, really someone to shine? Because obviously I play more console than mobile, so I am starting to play more mobile though. So maybe I'll catch up a little bit more. But
if Bear is the same Bear that played previously for Exiled, then we can definitely expect him to use the sniper. I believe he is actually primarily an Arctic 50 user. I'm not 100% positive on that one. Outside of that, the majority of these Zygnus players are new for me. Like I said, I believe Ninja was previously from Fearless, but not really a big contender in Season 4 of Mobile Mayhem. We know a lot more about this NL team, but at the same time, lots of new players here as well. So, really, for so many of these teams, we're just going to have to wait and see how the season plays out, and really, based on that, determine who the top players are going to be. It is going to be Zygnus making entry into the Hardpoint as Thug, winning that gunfight off the start, and it is going to be contested for right now. Fish actually with a sniper out in respawn right now. Not something we see happen a whole lot. He's going to be able to pull out a Man of War as well. And it looks like NL is going to be set up really well on this first Hardpoint.
Yeah, so far it has been the case, and you definitely expect NL to excel a little bit with the likes of Cheto and Envoy. Envoy, another player, similar to Yuji, who we talked about earlier. Obviously, they're former teammates. Not consistently a top fragger, but consistently a strong player. So you definitely expect NL to perform exceptionally well. Raven, what a monster, finds a just nasty early game triple kill with the Pred missile there. So that is big for him. 8 kills on the board. I don't know what it is about NL, but they just find star players left and right season after season.
And in a 250-point game of Hardpoint, to be up 50 points off the start, definitely a good sign. With Raven even dropping off after 10 kills, he's got a cluster strike to work with. Probably not looking to waste that anytime soon, as his team is completely in control of his Hardpoint. Could potentially get some really easy frags on the outside, but just not really any need to use it. You can see Loyal looking to make the push on in. Smoke's going to be really crucial for Zygnus right now, but with S-Thug being the only player above 3 kills and just everybody fragging out for NL right now, looking like they're off to a pretty solid start. We do finally have the break coming in for Zygnus. Raven not spotting Loyal on that backside, but has the perfect pre-aim. Envoy's going to be able to take him out anyway, even with Zygnus getting probably close to 30 seconds on this second Hardpoint. It is going to be NL set up perfectly for P3.
Yeah, absolutely. And NL have had pretty dominant control, 81 to 29 right now, making the rotation over. Envoy actually does get dropped, does get a bad spawn, and Zygnus might be able to find a little bit of a break here, as they are able to mostly clear out the garage. At least at first they looked like they were going to, but Zygnus definitely do have it locked down at this point. This is a big opportunity for them to start making the comeback.
Yeah, and it really looked like it was going to be all NL off the start, as they had the 50-point lead, pretty much no contest off the start. It is going to be Raven pushing in right there, and he's actually all the way up to 13 kills right now for NL, who had been the dominant team off the start, like we said. Is going to be a contest coming in right here for NL, and kind of mitigating the effect that break had, as it looked like Zygnus was going to be able to close the gap. They are going to be able to do so a little bit more. And Cortez looking to make the push from top side down onto basketball court. Really nobody on site for NL right now. Cortez trying to land the nade, but Shadow's going to be able to take him out right there. Only a 13-point lead for NL, and with Zygnus in control of the hardpoint, S-Thug with 14 kills on the board, they're actually in really good position right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely doing great. They were able to get a incredible hold on Garage. They were able to rotate over and get Anchor onto basketball court as well. S-Thug absolutely killing it, bodying people left and right. 14 kills on the board, gets a hit marker and gets dropped there. But, you know, overall, still strong performance coming out of him. Big turn, as the team does pick up a couple kills on the rotation over to basketball court. Lead is in favor of Zygnus at this point, and what started like such a massive lead for the side of NL has very quickly started to fall apart a little bit. So we'll have to see if NL are able to regroup and get things together here, as they had strong control over the mid objectives so far and struggled a little bit on the rotation. So maybe as we get into the next rotation here, as we go into the final hard point for the rotation, we might have an opportunity for NL to start evening things out. They are the first on point, but you're not going to win off of the struggle bus. So we'll have to see if they're able to pull through here. Do have a couple kills going over to the side of NL, but Zygnus answer back. Fish does get the Tempest kill. Fish gets a triple kill. That is huge for NL. Almost able to even things up, but man, Zygnus just started filling the feed on their own as well. And that is going to be Control going back over to Zygnus.
Yeah, Zygnus has turned this around in a really big way. Based off the first hard point, it seemed like NL was going to be able to control the game pretty easily, but obviously S-Thug just completely punching a hole in the defense, not able to win that gunfight right there. But with Zygnus taking the lead right here, NL is able to close things, but Zygnus in control of P2. Bear's going to be able to win the gunfight, actually pulling out the AK-117, which is not a gun we've seen used a whole lot in the competitive scene. To see it working right there, as we do have Zygnus making those rotations on over to P2. It looks like Bear's really the only one set up properly, and I actually made a mistake. We are moving on over to P1 right here, as Bear's going to win the gunfight. It is a tie game right now, as NL is able to retake the lead right here. Raven winning the gunfight, I believe known previously as No Recoil Raven, and right now the kill feed is all NL.
Yeah, NL have been putting up a solid fight. They've taken the lead back in their favor. Zygnus absolutely cannot be slept on, though. Specifically, as you mentioned, looking at S-Thug, 19 kills on the board. Bear as well, another player we expected to have a good performance and has so far been doing so. 14 on the board for him. A lot of these players from NL actually really racking up the kills, though, despite the score being so even. Envoy 15, Raven 18, Fish 16. Everybody's strong in double digits at this point for the side of NL. Cortez with 10 and Boyle with 9 on the side of Zygnus. Definitely hope to see them pull up a couple more kills here and assist the team, as they are able to clear out the next hard point. They are able to get some points on the board. But a trophy system and then a double kill going over to the side of NL as Raven picks those up. That's a big opening for them to get in. Raven finds a triple and Envoy finds a double. That was huge for the side of NL. They needed that right then and there.
Yeah, that was a really clutch break. Raven's not going to be able to win the gunfight. Ninja's going to be able to hop up right here. He's in good position to allow them to be able to get the retake, but already down 30 points and not really a whole lot of time left on this hill. You got to wonder whether or not it's worth it. And as you look NL already set up perfectly over on P3. They are looking really, really content right now to go ahead and play this one. Envoy's going to absolutely beam. The player coming down through red, and S-Thug struggling since the beginning of the game. He was really stuck at 19 kills for quite a while and has struggled since then to be able to muster a whole lot. You can see still a 20-point lead. Contest going on for a while. This is a stalemate that we tend to see a good bit on this hardpoint just because of head glitches that both players are allowed to hold. Raven's going to be able to push in, wins the gunfight right there. Players pushing in for Zygnus, but they're going to need to take out a lot, and with Raven hitting those types of shots, it's not going to be easy. They are able to get the break. That's going to be 30 seconds worth. That could potentially get them the lead right here, but they also are going to need to try to minimize the amount of time that NL is able to get on P4, P4, and this is going to be a big rotation as Ninja tries to make the rotation right here, just 5 HP, Envoy able to win the fight. That's going to be really, really big for NL, as that really is going to slow down the push for Zygnus.
Yeah, and NL are in a position where they could theoretically win off of this next hardpoint if they're able to hold it the whole time. Fish picking up a double kill or triple kill definitely adds up to the possibility of that. But they cannot afford to give up any contest time here. I mean, really none at all, as B-Thug, or S-Thug, I mean, is able to get a clean kill onto Envoy there, but does get dropped. Fish just absolutely nutty with Tempest. Fish also going to pick up a double kill with the Pred missile there as well, but the contest is through. That means no NL victory on this point, at least.
Yeah, Fish is making really big plays. Not only was he able to get the Pred, he got a sentry gun and a Goliath right there. That's going to allow NL to get very, very close to max time. Not only that, but you got to keep in mind, Zygnus has to take out this Goliath in order to prevent NL from making that push up into P5. Loyal finally able to take it out right there. We do have S-Thug proving to be really streaky. He's either on or he's off. Once he starts to get into it, does not miss a shot. We see him getting another one right there. Still staying in top frag. 31 kills on the board. He's going to need to keep everybody out for NL, but he's doing it right now. He is not missing. He misses a couple on to Cheto right there, but now makes the push in. His teammates should be able to hop onto the hard point soon, and he does have the, unfortunate Annihilator in hand, but the Shock RC perfectly timed. That's going to shut him down. That does allow NL to push back in, and it looks like they are going to be able to close this one out. The War Machine gets a couple kills. The contest going in for the time being. Only one more second needed. They're able to get it as Shadow gets the kill onto Loyal, and it will be NL taking the win in game number 1.
Yeah, and that was a much closer hardpoint game than we saw in the previous two matchups. Obviously, you know, we were looking at, 132 to 250 in our first matchup of the night, and then, 250 to, what was it, 50-something? I mean, strong performance in our second match of the night as well. This one really boiled down to the wire. Less than a 50-point difference between these two teams. Players on both sides of the boards just popping off like crazy. Raven and Fish with 31 and 30 kills. Envoy 25, Cheto 19, Kimwax 18. Looking over at the side of Zygnus, with the numbers that NL put up, you would expect it to be much, much lower, but S-Thug 33, Bear 25, Cortez 18. Ninja and Loyal did struggle a little bit down at 14, but I mean, overall kills left and right for both these teams. Incredibly close game. Overall, Fish and Cheto, huge objective control for the side of NL, 240 and 310 respectively.
Yeah, that's got to be a really good sign for NL, as Envoy and Cheto, the only two players returning from the previous season, to have 2 new players as your top fraggers in the first game. And looking at Fish, not only did he go 30 and 18 right there, he also had 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the hill. So playing the objective and also playing the fragger role for them. Definitely a really good sign, and expecting more big things out of this team. And yet, at the same time, expecting a lot out of Zygnus as well, knowing that this is a really solid team that they're going up against. It would put up a solid gunfight, even though it felt like they were at a massive kill disparity. Ninja going double negative, Loyal close to double negative, Cortez 7 negative, and it was only a 40-point game. They seem to have a really good grasp of what they need to do as far as rotations and everything else to be able to make this as close as possible. And definitely seems like they could put up a really good fight for a lot of these more experienced teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's a lot of new players on both of these teams, and that fight was all the way down to the wire, back and forth, players getting kills racked up left and right. And with Envoy, Cheto, Bear in the game, like, you expect the level of competition to be high. So, you know, it's definitely going to be interesting moving forward to see how different the NL roster performs, just because of how different it is. I mean, not having Tatio here tonight is definitely a big portion of how NL is going to perform. I mean, he's a repeat MVP, strong, consistent player. Looking over at the side of Zygnus, definitely have some new names, but some that have made some pretty big names for themselves, at least in game 1. We'll have to see more out of them in games to come, but moving into Search and Destroy Standoff is a good next view of them as well, to see if they can perform as strongly in the in a non-respawn mode.
Yeah, it does seem like every season we kind of contrast the respawn heavy teams versus the Search and Destroy heavy teams. So we'll have to wait and see whether this was a respawn versus Search and Destroy, or if NL was just a stronger team. They definitely seem to be winning the gunfights, but as far as the objective, probably could have played it a little bit stronger, especially looking at their overall KDs. They probably could have won that by a lot more. With that in mind, you got to feel like Zygnus definitely has a shot at winning the Search and Destroy right here, and especially for Standoff, which can be very hit or miss. The aggressive teams tend to do a lot better, especially on the offensive side. We'll see how they're able to do. Obviously, not a whole lot of these players have been in the Mobile Mayhem scene for very long. Bear, we do have Riot subbing in for Zygnus right there, so could make a big impact for them. I believe previously of Fearless as well, Envoy running the same roster for right now. We'll see how this ends up playing out, and I think there's actually a couple assets that I need to download right now. I believe that's part of the reason why every single player that you guys have looked at has been wearing the default skin. So hopefully once I get those assets downloaded, you'll get to see the beauty of every single weird character skin that every one of these players is using.
Yeah, definitely would be exciting since we have allowed them to use skins. We might as well get to see them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a lot of exciting things going on in COD Mobile, from skins to updates to Mobile Mayhem. Definitely going to be an exciting 2021 ahead of you guys. And, you know, again, kind of keep in mind, these teams are not locked in. There's still a lot that can change, so don't take these first couple weeks too much to heart, because things could very minorly change. Things could very, very drastically change, but one way or another, the competition season after season here just absolutely rises to new levels. So definitely an exciting season to look forward to. We had some great qualifier games that we opened up to on Tuesday, all the way down to the Game 5 wire between ExSet and LA Gaming. I believe it was ExSet able to secure their spot in Mobile Mayhem, so expect to see more out of them. And that's kind of part of the reason I want to bring up that, hey, these rosters aren't locked, because there were plenty of incredibly strong players on the LA Gaming lineup that could potentially get recruited for Season 5 still.
Yep. It looks like we've got everybody readied up, good to go for game number 2 in this matchup, NL versus Zygnus. This is the third of our 4 matches tonight. We do have one that will follow this one, so make sure you guys don't go anywhere regardless of the result. NL taking the 1-0 lead, looking to close things out to be able to take that 20 points off the start. We'll see if they're able to do so over on the offensive side. This is a map that definitely favors aggressive teams, and we're definitely seeing that from NL. Envoy and Raven already pushing up to tank right here. Taking the nade, trying to toss it over top. Cortez looking to defend, but the smoke's just going to make that way too difficult, and it looks like the A plant is going to go down right now for NL. Ninja already dropping off. With the bomb down, things getting that much more difficult. I don't...
Oh, what a clean shot under the tractor there by Espo.
I did not know that was a spot that you could wallbang, or whatever it is. I didn't know there was any area underneath the tractor. Cheto's going to miss the shot onto Riots the first time, misses it the second time as well. Tries to hit it a third time. It's not going to happen, and really, NL just kind of falling apart right now. Riots finding a couple big frags. Fish is going to be the only player left right here. Trying to make the spray onto S-Thug, and S-Thug shuts it down right there. I don't know if they got the defuse in time. I don't think they did.
They did not, so that's going to be a NL victory despite it looking very much in favor of Zygnus. So NL kind of just clutch up in the afterlife there a little bit. But yeah, next to the tractor on A side for the defending side, there's a hay bale that you can actually shoot underneath the tractor through.
And oh, he shot through. Okay, I was super confused right there. That makes a little bit more sense. At the same time, I really just don't see that. I never would have even I'd never see it happen, but definitely a really good play for them. It is going to be S-Thug getting the first blood onto Cheto right here. That's going to be really good.
Ranked strats, bro.
Yep. Very, very good start for Zygnus. Fish going to be the only player remaining with a sniper in hand for NL, as they're content to sit back, trying to find their first blood, and it looks like Zygnus very content to play passive, which is definitely the right approach for them. No reason to overextend. We do see Fish spotting S-Thug over top of tank right there, but not able to land a shot, and because of that, Bear is actually going to be able to take out Envoy right here. And just all the more reason for Zygnus to play back, not risk anything that they don't need to, and really wait for NL to make some mistakes. If Ninja took the shot right now, it would look like an absolute beauty. Unfortunately for him, doesn't see the players the way that we do, and he's now able to advance things up, pushing up into the A site, still waiting for anything out of NL, and they're really sitting back with only 25 seconds on the board. I don't see this going their way. They should have made a move a little bit earlier on. With 0 players eliminated from
Fish
Zygnus,
does find a shot.
Kimwax is not going to be able to win that one. Fish is going to be all by himself. He's in a 1v4 right now. He's able to pull out an AR. He's going to be able to take out Bear, but doesn't even have enough time to get the plant down. Ninja shuts it down, and that does allow Zygnus to tie things up at 1-1.
Yeah, and you would have expected this to be a Zygnus 2-0, but, you know, just because of the defuse times and, you know, a well-played clock by the side of NL, they were able to close out that first round. Zygnus answer back with another strong round 2. Fish finds the kill onto S-Thug this time around, and S-Thug being dropped is actually really big for the side of NL. S-Thug, 3 kills on the board for himself. Fish popping off 5. Actually, at this point in the game, out-sniping Cheto, one of our repeat snipers of the split, so really big performance coming out of Fish here. Definitely a player we're going to have to watch. Again, I don't know where NL finds these champions, but they find champions left and right as they take round at number 3.
Yeah, that was a pretty... I'm not going to say an easy round for them, but they were definitely in control for that whole time. I love seeing the diversity of the loadouts that we're seeing used right here. We got multiple ARs, multiple SMGs, multiple snipers. Definitely a lot more diversity. Raven able to find a frag with the QXR, aka the MP7 right there. That's going to allow them to get a frag, and he's actually down to 7 HP. Just watch the nade roll into him, and unfortunate timing is they're forced to sit back, but Cheto's able to find the frag on to Ninja. He's actually using the Arctic 50, not a gun that we've seen him use previously in Mobile Mayhem, but just with the stopping power rounds, making it an automatic one-shot anywhere on the body. Obviously, always going to be a viable option. Another player is going to drop for Zygnus. Baron Cortez still on the bomb site. Cheto trying to hit the wall bang. He's going to be able to land shots onto Cortez, and Void takes out Bear. And we do have NL extending their lead right here to 3-1.
Yeah, NL definitely more in control of this game so far, at least than they were in the Hardpoint game, which is very back and forth. I mean, honestly, for the side of Zygnus, it's been mostly S-Thug putting in a lot of work for the rounds that they win, but Riot's is top fragging so far here for the side of Zygnus. Bear with a beautiful frag picks up Envoy, and that will give them a little bit of a lead. Riot's with a good rotation over actually as well. Picks up Fish. That's 6 on the board for him. You know, and again, kind of what I was saying earlier, it's not necessarily that S-Thug is carrying, but when S-Thug does get picked at the beginning of the round, it has historically not gone good for them. And Cheto does find Cortez, evening things up a little bit, but Ninja answers back. It's now 3 Zygnus versus 2 members remaining of NL in Kim, Wax, and Raven. And with this being the last round of offense for NL, they definitely would like to close things out with a 4-1 lead. But Zygnus in a prime position right now to potentially get things a little bit closer before they get control of the bomb.
Yeah, an interesting flip of sides as we do have the offensive NL actually occupying blue right now, which is typically a defensive building. Kimwax pulling out the AGR, which we've not really seen used a whole lot in the competitive setting. Try to land the snipe. Actually hit markers right there onto S-Thug. Would love to get the wall bang. Looks like S-Thug has perfectly evaded and now waiting for his teammate to back him up. They're going to be able to get the frag, but not before S-Thug's able to take out Raven. The shot's coming through. Kim not able to land the snipe and now put into a really tough spot. Misses an easy shot over top of the hay bale, and with that looking like probably secured the loss for the round for NL. Going to be forced to go for the quick plant over onto the B site. Tried to play the bait right there, but just not the right move.
Big kill for Riots there.
Yeah, that's a big kill for Riots, and regardless of what have happened, would have been a win for Zygnus as he didn't really have time to get the plant down. That will allow Zygnus to close the gap a little bit and move things to 2-3.
Yeah, they do get bomb control now as well, assuming any of the players pick it up. It does look like we have Ninja with the bomb now. I don't know if that was lag on my end or what, but we do have, like I said, Ninja with the bomb. You definitely have a little bit of an advantage when you are on offense for Search and Destroy, just in the fact that you are able to send your whole team wherever you would like. You have that opportunity to rotate as a crowd. You have that opportunity to look for picks, but Fish finds S-Thug hopping up onto the car looking for the kill into the window. He also does have another member pinned down in a bear behind the statue. Finds that one as well. Fish, an absolute madman with the sniper here. And it's definitely kind of different having somebody on NL outperforming Cheto with the sniper as well. Kimwax has a sniper out for himself as well. So definitely be keeping an eye out for that. 1 minute remaining on the clock. Ninja, unfortunately, has been suppressed back and unable to plant. S-Thug once again dropped, and again, historically for this matchup so far, when S-Thug is down, NL seem to perform a little bit better. So we'll have to see what they're able to pull together through here. We do see Zygnus rotating over, trying to make their way over to B for a plant, but they are just super cautious about checking these corners in a lot of situations. A lot of that's going to be because Fish has just found faces so many times.
Oh my gosh.
Like that. Yeah, you gotta be super careful with Fish playing like the absolute madman that he is right now. 8 kills on the board for him to lead all players. Riot for the side of Zygnus, not far behind. Does get dropped by KimWax. It's now a lonely Cortez up against 3 remaining members of NL. Does find one onto Envoy. Still going to be a difficult matchup. KimWax and Fish, the 2 remaining players of NL. He is making the rotation on over to the backside of A, but is going to get bodied. 4-2 lead going over to the side of NL.
Yep, and that will allow NL to extend their lead a little bit more. Once again, obviously, Fish making the big plays for them right there as he's now up to 8 kills on the board. Looking to put the trophy system down. It's 3 people defending the site for NL. Definitely a solid defense for them. The tough thing about defending that site is with smokes going in, it's just so difficult to predict where the opposing team is going to be coming from. KimWax now forced back. The A plant is going to go down right here. Cortez looking to defend the tractor, but KimWax has a nade on the way in, taking out Ninja. That's going to be first blood. Envoy taking out Bear as well. Cortez trying with everything that he can to defend the site. Does get a couple shots, but Fish somehow lands a shot over top of the wall right there. That looks like that's going to be an easy defuse coming in for NL. And now only 1 round away from closing things out in a 2-0.
Yeah, it started off looking a little iffy for NL. Riots was just having a big performance. S-Thug as well. Big performance over there. But these last couple rounds have been pretty predominantly in NL's control. Envoy does get dropped there. Raven as well hits the corner, gets dropped by Riots. That's a 2-player advantage now for the side of Zygnus. But just like that, Cheto and Fish each find a kill. Bomb plant is going to go down by Ninja, but is currently 3-3. Fish is alive, 10 kills on the board. Of course, we know you can never sleep on our boy Cheto, but the remaining players of Zygnus in Bear, Cortez, and Ninja definitely would be feeling a little bit more confident in them if S-Thug and Riots were alive, but they absolutely can pull this off if they're able to find the kills. It is NL forced to fight against the clock at this point, and Zygnus are set up. Cheto finds 1, 2 players remaining. Ninja is going to get the kill onto Fish. 10 seconds on the board, and it's only KimWax alive. Cortez is going to find the kill there and going to close the gap a little bit once again. 3-5, still match point for NL.
Yeah, and that was definitely a really strong round for Zygnus as they really controlled the map, did not allow NL to dictate the pace of the game, and even with Fish hitting some ridiculous shots right there, it didn't really tend to phase them a whole lot. We'll see if they can manage to do that for a couple more rounds. Riots hopping through it. Looked like Fish hit the perfect nade. Maybe didn't cook it quite long enough as Bear is able to get a frag. Trades coming in. Envoy finding kills left and right. Just what NL needed. But as I say, S-Thug coming through with the big frags. Fish is going to be all by himself. He's in a 1v3, but if there's anybody for NL that can clutch it right now, you got to think that it's going to be Fish. 10 kills on the board. Not getting hit markered by the nade. And it looks like probably a B plant coming in for Zygnus right here. They're pretty wide open on that site. S-Thug putting the bomb down, and Fish really waiting for that initial plant to come in. The bomb is going to go down successfully, and now the pressure is on. 37 seconds to get either 3 frags or the defuse. He's not going to
3 kills and the defuse.
Yeah, so, true.
Definitely a rough situation to be in. He could find all 3 kills, but if there's only 3 seconds left on the clock, it doesn't really matter other than flex points. But S-Thug, making the rotation through back, is able to find him, tying or nearly tying things up. It's now 4-5. And what was looking like a match predominantly in control by NL is very quickly falling apart here. And this is a big window for Zygnus to take this momentum and really just keep walking on through with it. Specifically, if S-Thug is able to find the kill onto Fish here, he was trying to look for it. He is going to find it. That is absolutely huge for the side of Zygnus here.
Yeah, he has been good time and time again, especially through these last couple rounds. Could potentially spot Raven over the top of that little head glitch right there. Not going to see him there, but with Fish eliminated, that's a big loss for this NL team, who's been heavily dependent on the first bloods that he's been able to find. Kimwax for NL is going to find a trade, and that'll even things up at 4 frags apiece. But with S-Thug heading on back over to boxes right there, that is not a good spot for NL to be, as he's basically going to be able to decimate anybody that attempts to go for that defuse. They're going to need to send out some smokes to give themselves a shot. They don't seem to have any in their hands. Shadow's able to find a frag. S-Thug, one of 2 players remaining for Zygnus right here. Obviously, he's not going to let the defuse go in. He's only able to hit one of the shots, though. I don't know if it's going to be enough time. It looks like it will be. NL just getting back to the bomb site. That will allow them to close things out. Envoy's going to get the defuse right there, and they will get the 2-0 victory, closing that out at 6-4.
Yeah, that was a really, really strong performance coming out of NL for a majority of that game, but I gotta give credit to Zygnus. They really nearly turned things around. It was a very even hardpoint game, back and forth. NL were able to close that one out, I think 250 to 230, so very, very close matchup. And then moving on here into our search and destroy matchup, closing things out 6-4. Also an incredibly, incredibly close matchup that could have gone either way. I'm definitely looking forward to these 2 teams playing off a little bit more in the future. As well as this was NL without Tatio, and we had players really performing exceptionally well in that place. So no Tatio, doesn't matter. Fish came through, 10 kills on the board. Kimwax started off a little bit slow, but was able to definitely find some things towards the middle of the game that helped their team take control. Raven, again, middle of the pack for the team. 6 kills on the board, but performed really strongly in the hardpoint matchup. So definitely got to keep an eye out for some of these newer NL players, as well as some of these Zygnus players. We know S-Thug, we know Bear. We expected them to do well, but Riots came through with a strong performance here. Cortez clutched up when the team really needed him to. Ninja down at 3 kills, but had a lot of bomb control for the game, and that does put you to be a little bit more susceptible. You're obviously shooting less because you're going to be planting the bomb, so got to give him credit where credit is due. Both of these teams played exceptional, and I can't wait to see more out of both of them.
Yep. Day, I believe we may have lost your face cam. Just FYI.
We lost my face. Okay, let me see if I can fix that.
But yeah, definitely a really strong performance out of NL. Nothing surprising to see. This is a team that season after season, doesn't matter how many roster changes they have, they're always consistently toward the top. Definitely expecting to continue to see that out of them as we continue to move forward. We do have one more on-stream match for tonight. That is going to be ExSet versus Nova Invictus, previously Nova champs. This is a team that I'm really excited to watch. One of the top players, Saxy, obviously had been one of the best players for Nova champs, and they've picked up a lot of really strong players. Obviously, ExSet, the second place team for North America champs. Excited to watch them as well. So should be an interesting matchup to finish off the night. Keep in mind, we are going to have Mobile Mayhem happening every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the next couple of months through the end of February. So make sure you guys got it marked on your calendar so you don't miss out on anything. Lots of new teams, some big announcements coming next week as well that you guys are not going to want to miss out on. And definitely looking forward to our 5th season of Mobile Mayhem.
Definitely should be good ones. We've got players that are just getting better season after season. We have some players from last season that we certainly expect to do better this season. Again, looking over at the likes of Saxy and Desi on the Nova lineup, as you mentioned, they were second place for North America champs. They've been playing on phone, and at this level of competition, you definitely have to give them the little bit of handicap that they deserve. And that the last season of Mobile Mayhem, they were going up against plenty of players who looked exceptionally well, but were playing on iPad, which across the board is admittedly for most players a much easier device to play on, iPad, tablet, whatever it may be. You get the bigger screen, you've got more space between your controls. It's just a little bit more forgiving of an experience, I guess is the way I want to put it. So getting players to move down into phone, I definitely think some of the gap from season 4 to season 5 will change regarding regarding a lot of the teams that maybe underperformed but were a little bit ahead of the curve and playing on the more difficult devices.
Yep. We do have Nova picking up a couple players, so more than likely the majority of you will recognize Saxy, Decipher, and Lewis. Ban, previously of Strike Zone, joining the team, as well as Parrish, who I don't think has been with any teams in the previous season. ExSet obviously getting a couple new players as well. Looks like Medusa will be joining them for tonight. I believe he was on the team for Tuesday night's games as well, so nothing too new here, but it does actually look like we are going to be playing Hardpoint on Scrapyard for game number 1. One that I was really interested to see Tuesday, and it definitely did not disappoint. Excited to see how these teams play it out. Game number 2 is going to be Search and Destroy on Standoff, and the final map, if we go to it, is going to be Domination on Firing Range, which is always one of my favorites. We'll see if we do have our best of 3 updated. And we actually do. You can see the chopper as the ban weapon for ExSet for Nova Invictus, banning the ASM-10. Keep in mind that does mean the DRH will still be in play. More than likely going to see a good amount of that, as well as a pretty versatile meta, which has definitely been more in play this season than it has been in previous seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't really make the decision to ban the chopper knowing what maps are coming, but if you do ban the chopper and you happen to get Scrapyard, you're probably pretty thankful because nearly everything on that map is wallbangable. It was designed quite a while ago where guns did not in general perform as well through walls. It was more difficult to run attachments that gave you that penetration power. So here in 2021 COD Mobile, you put a chopper on, and I mean you can just roast the first hardpoint inside of the thin metal walls of that L-shaped airplane in the middle of the map. We were able to see some of that at the beginning of our matchups on Tuesday between LA Gaming and ExSet. So definitely limits the potential there, but again, it's not something that you can necessarily be prepared for when you're going through your weapon bans.
Yep. Just FYI, your face
Yeah, I
is
know.
still...
I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I assume this is probably the reason that it crashed in the first place.
More than likely. Yep, probably.
I'm currently trying to decipher my technological issues.
All right. Well, working on getting our final team loaded in. And once we're into the game, it doesn't matter whether or not we have Dave's face. So we'll be good to go at that point. Looks like just one more player loading in for ExSet. A lot of their roster staying the same. Obviously, Moralto kind of one of their staples, especially over on the S&D side, as his snipes have been a big thing for them. Impulsive, one of the more consistent players. It does look like Mango's one of the newer players on the roster loading in for this ExSet team. He'll be joining us right here. Once we get all of our players with their screenshots submitted and everything else, we should be good to go to hop into game number 1 of our final match of the night, which is going to be Hardpoint on Scrapyard. Keep in mind, we will have a couple matchups that are happening off-stream, stream, whichever it is. So that will impact our standings as far as the current standings. We do have Tribe Gaming down at the bottom, Nova Imperium at the top of Division 2. NL Esports able to pass up 11 right there as they do get the plus 20 moving up to the top of the division. Mayhem, one of the newer teams joining the league, as well as Strike Zone, one of the teams that joined last season, and Fierce, not in tonight's games, but definitely going to be teams that you guys want to watch out for.
Yeah, and again, definitely would expect this Nova roster to perform a little bit better now that teams are forced to play on phone. But looking over at the side of ExSet, I do believe many of these players were also already playing on phone, so We will have to see just how much that has changed things up. Obviously, still very possible for anything to happen here. I mean, both of these teams performed pretty low in Season 4, but Season 5 is a totally different game with the ban on persistence, with a lot of the changes for things like operators being limited to one per team, a couple of them as well just outright being banned. Molotovs, thermites, and trip mines are all banned. So the competition has really changed quite a drastic amount. And it's definitely exciting for the mobile mayhem scene, at least.
Yep. And all of this is really to try to make sure we have the most competitive possible environment. So chat is telling you to open Discord, and chat is always right. So just letting you know that that is their suggestion.
Discord's open.
No,
I am also.
They're telling you turn it off and turn it back on again.
Oh, just like, yeah, I can try that.
Yeah.
The old turn it off and turn it back on strat.
Yeah, exactly.
Try that.
It's worked since the beginning of time, even since what's the first thing that was like ever invented that you would turn off and then turn on? Maybe like would that require electricity, or is there something that could have come before electricity that maybe, I don't know. You know what, chat? You get the gist of it, you know? We got all of our players loaded in, just waiting for everybody to ready up, and we should be good to go for game number 1. Scrapyard Hardpoint is just fun for me to watch, primarily because it's new, because even when Scrapyard was in ranked, it's still never had a hardpoint option. I think when Scrapyard was in ranked, I don't think hardpoint was even a ranked game mode. I think at that point in time, we only had search and destroy, domination, TDM. I still don't know why TDM is a ranked game mode, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Imagine playing on emulator. Well, the reason I'm playing on emulator is because I'm not playing, I'm spectating. So that's the primary reason for that.
The emulator spectator client is, for purposes of viewership, way easier to use.
Yep. And also, it's the nice, pretty 1920 by 1080, so you don't have to have any additional overlays. You just have the game as it is, and it's perfect. So,
I'll tell you what, if you get your hotkeys set up, it'll really help with the whole first-person, third-person issue too.
I should probably do that.
Because it's so much more precise just to be able to hit a button and it guaranteed hits the spot, you know?
Yep. Just waiting on ExSet. They are just taking their beautiful sweet time right here. They are readied up. And it looks like we're good to go for game number 1.
And game number 1 will be kicking off between ExSet and Nova. So we will have to see, just how these two teams are going to perform up against each other. Again, both of these teams pretty much were already on the migration to phone. So definitely expect big things from them out of them this season. And again, these two teams both struggled quite a bit in the previous seasons of Mobile Mayhem. So we'll have to see how they perform against each other and how they take the changes and move forward with it. Again, this is such a dangerous hardpoint to try to control. Even if you get in and get the zone, you could be wallbanged or from any which direction. So.
And Cypher is doesn't even care. Doesn't even care about the wallbang, just frying anybody that enters into the hardpoint. Pretty much single-handedly holding that down for Nova Invictus right now. They're off to a good start. It is going to be ExSet getting to push in. Impulsive's ready. Decipher says not today. It's finally Medusa shutting things that are actually Legacy shutting things down. He's got the QXR, aka the MP7 in hand. 4 kills on the board for him. That's definitely a gun I am expecting to see more things out of in Season 5 of Mobile Mayhem. Definitely one of my personal favorites, and a nice change of pace from the AR meta that we have had so much previously. We got Ban picking up a couple kills right there. And a pretty even start off the bat, is only 5 points separate these two teams.
And that is usually what we expect off of the first hard point against teams that are, for the most part, even in skill matchup, and it has so far been the case. Teams going back and forth here early on, but it does look like Nova are going to pick up control of P2. This is not quite as punishing of a map as something like Summit, where P3 and P4 are like almost impossible to break if you don't do it the first time. But there's so much terrain and so much visibility from the upper half of the buildings that it does make the rotations over to point incredibly hard. So it does make P2 and P3 incredibly difficult to break. But P4 and P5 on this map can definitely be very, very competitive, as the respawns are very close. There's not really the height advantage that you have, at least directly on the hard point at that point. So keep an eye out for how teams are going to start to make rotations towards P4 and P5, but we will quite often see whatever team gets control of P3 and P2 and P3 will be able to maintain control in most cases.
And just like that, Band is actually going to be able to pick up an early Goliath right there. Even though he does let the War Machine go to waste, I like the play from him. That's going to be really big value for them, and that is going to continue to add to the lead that Nova Invictus has already added. Impulsive is able to find a big frag right there, but he's going to need to be able to get the break right here in order to make any type of an impact for ExSet, who has struggled so far. Lewis shutting things down on the backside, 8 kills coming in for him. He does have not only the Pred missile on hand, but he's got a sentry gun to work with as well, as Nova Imperium has really been in control of this game from the start.
Yeah, this has been, it started off a very even match, but Nova have been pretty dominantly in control. Band, 13 kills on the board, getting them left and right. Parrish as well, doing exceptionally well. All of these players approaching double digits. Looking over at the side of ExSet, it's mostly on Legacy. And I am a little disappointed that we don't have Asta playing here for the side of ExSet, because he was such a strong player for them in their qualifier match that we saw on Tuesday. So definitely a little bit of a hindrance, at least in my opinion here. Medusa, I believe, is the player in his spot right now with only 4 kills on the board. So you definitely would like to see Asta get in a little bit more, assuming he's still on the roster. Impulsive, however, we know. Meralto as well, we know, and has, I mean, honestly, had such a strong impact for their games on Tuesday as well. So to see him struggling down at 2 kills right now is definitely a difficult situation for them to be in up against Nova.
And Parrish, one of the newer players to Mobile Mayhem, not really having any trouble at all. He is frying right now, 75 points off of another Pred missile. He's already got 1 Goliath in his hands and just not really having any type of an issue handling this ExSet team. Looking to put down his Goliath right here. It looks like he'll be able to easily pick it up. And with a 140-point lead already in hand for Nova Invictus, just looking untouchable to this ExSet team. A Goliath and a sentry gun on the hill, not something that you really want to see if you are ExSet. That should be pretty close to a guaranteed 50 points for this Nova Invictus team. Meralto sending through the SMRS or the FHJ, but Parrish probably going to be untouchable on this hard point. That should put them pretty close to 240 points, or at least 230 points, and in a really good position to win game number 1.
Yeah, Nova have been absolutely in control of this matchup. If you watch the feed, they're getting kills left and right. ExSet finding a kill here and there, but when the kill feed is 4 for 1 consistently in respawn, that is going to be a difficult thing to overcome. But Nova are in a pretty prime position. They're only about 25 points away from victory, which means ExSet realistically need to full hold the next, 2.5, 3 objectives?
Yeah.
So definitely a rough spot to be in for game 1. Definitely have to see if maybe Meralto being able to have a sniper out for search and destroy changes things up, but I'm pretty close to just calling this one in a favor of Nova at this point. ExSet have picked up a couple kills here, but with the point disparity right now, I don't know if a couple kills is gonna cut it.
Yeah, they're able to close the gap a little bit. They do have Medusa and Legacy on the hard point right now, but keep in mind, they have 1 player in double digits in Legacy. Every single Nova Invictus player is in double digits, and also has more kills than the top fragger for ExSet. So it looks like it's only going to be a matter of time somehow ExSet has been able to prolong the inevitable. Band is able to get a frag right there. Trades going in left and right, and somehow ExSet actually able to get pretty close to max time on that hard point. Definitely a really good start for them if they're going to make any progress toward winning this game, but they've got a long way to go. Impulsive wins a much-needed gunfight right there, and it does look like it is going to be Nova on the hard point. They only need about 12 seconds right here. Impulsive pushing in, trying to hold the contest for as long as he can. Parrish is actually going to get dropped off right there. So is Sexy. Oh no, Sexy's still alive, but Impulsive takes him out. Banned on the inside of the airplane. Medusa going to probably get taken out pretty soon right here. And somehow ExSet's able to stay alive, at least for longer than expected.
Yeah, and, you know, again, they have picked themselves up a couple points, but Nova have closed it down to just 11 points that they need. And this is that dangerous territory we talked about earlier, where you cannot afford at this point to give up 5 or 6 points at the end of a hard point, as well as your team has to be ready and able to make that rotation over to deny the first 5 or 6 off of the next hard point. So on a map like Scrapyard, where there's so much dangerous territory, any corner could be your death just because there's so much in the middle of the map. You definitely have to be wary of that, and it makes it incredibly difficult for your team to make both of the rotations that you need simultaneously. And here's what we're seeing right now is ExSet had a great performance on the last hard point, but were unable to maintain control and get the rotation over, down players while they had players defending the previous hard point, gave control over to Nova going into the next one, and they were able to find those 11 points that they needed.
Yeah, and honestly, the scoreboard didn't really give an accurate representation of how much of a blowout that was. That could have very well been a 250-30 or something similar to it. You can see the bottom fragger for Nova, 21 kills, or really bottom fragger technically had 25 kills if you go by points, and top frag for this ExSet team had 18, just not anywhere close. And at the end of the day, it comes down to Nova was set up in better positioning, and that resulted in them winning pretty much every single one of their gunfights. Saxy actually very nearly quad 25-7 right there, even though not at the top of the scoreboard. Definitely did a really good job of playing for streaks for this team and showing why this is going to be one of the most feared teams. Previously, one of the only teams that had played exclusively on phone, and hopefully we'll finally get a chance at showing just exactly why they do deserve the respect that they had been given as phone players for so long, as they do get a really easy win in game number 1.
Yeah, and definitely a win that they needed because, again, Nova really underperformed in previous seasons. I mean, so did ExSet. But Nova, you know, again, they were the second place team for North America champs, so you definitely got to give them credit for that, as well as they've picked up a couple players that are seemingly doing pretty strong. I mean, Parrish had a pretty strong game in that first matchup, so definitely keep an eye out for him. Desi, Saxy, Lewis, all returning players from Nova that, you know, we expect to do well and have done well in these games. So I'm definitely glad to see Nova a little bit more alive because they were hyped up quite a bit for the previous Mobile Mayhem seasons. Didn't see much out of them, and then didn't see roster changes, which was a little confusing at the point. But, you know, moving into where we're now exclusively phone, if they can perform like this for weeks to come, they could finish in a very, very different position for Season 5.
Yeah, this is shaping up to look like a really good season for, honestly, for both Nova Invictus and Nova Imperium. It looks like their tablet/underage team doing a really good job of making the transition on over to phone. And right now they're shaping up really well for whatever we do have coming for COD Mobile Championships in 2021. Hopefully big announcements coming soon. I know a lot of people in the competitive scene really waiting on that, as most other major esports have already made their announcements as far as competitive goes. Obviously nothing major announced for Call of Duty Mobile yet. We do have Mobile Mayhem, but We can't quite supply the big bucks like Activision can, so I think that's kind of what people are waiting on, and hopefully we do have big news coming soon.
Yeah, there certainly is a pretty sizable gap between the funding of Activision Blizzard and homegrown Mobile Mayhem here. So we're getting there. We're working on it. So hopefully there will be more exciting things coming out of Mobile Mayhem for 2021, which obviously, here we are. We're working on it. We're doing it. We got new things coming for you guys. While you won't see it this week, we do have other new features that you guys can expect to see next week. So keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, hopefully some news from Activision on potentially starting up COD Champs for this year as well. So hopefully we'll be getting players readied up and getting into the game here. And we can get you guys to the action.
Yeah, we have yet to see a domination tonight. It looked like we were going to have a game of domination in, I believe it was 11T versus Tribe, but by some miracle for 11T, it actually ended up being a 2-0 win for them as a result of lack of following rules over on the side of Tribe. So hopefully that's one of those things that maybe we see teams struggle with a little bit, even though it might be a relatively easy thing. Hopefully they can get things squared away in the following weeks and not have it be a major issue in the weeks to come, especially for a team like Tribe that looked really, really strong. Their team captain felt pretty confident that nobody was playing on tablet, and it really just came down to administrative error. You really do hate to see that, but at the same time, we got to make sure that we're holding everybody to the same standard. Hopefully that's something they'll be able to do in future games, and I would imagine by the end of next week, we'll probably have a better vision for what the divisions could potentially look like heading out and into the end of the season toward the semifinals and quarterfinals.
Yeah, definitely something that players are going to have to adjust to, things being just, again, a little different based on the rule set we have. But it's absolutely within the possibility of either of these teams, coming through performing well. As you mentioned, Tribe unfortunately didn't follow the rules and did pay for it despite a pretty one-sided win, I would say. So, I'm willing to bet that's not a mistake that Tribe will make again. And I do apologize. I believe I said Nova was second for champs. They were third, and ExSet was second. But either way, both of these teams fully capable of performing on phone. So you really hope to see big things coming out of them, especially Impulsive and Maralta, who have really been star players for ExSet despite the roster not performing where we would like to see them perform. When Nova's playing as strong as they just did, that's going to be a hard one for anyone to beat. So again, it's going to boil down to how much practice has Nova put in, how much practice have ExSet put in, and obviously moving into Search and Destroy, it could be very different than what we just saw.
Yeah, it looks like we may have some roster changes. No, it's just the same players loading into different spots on the roster. I don't know if there's a specific strategy for what's happening right now. Hopefully, we will have all of our players readied up pretty soon right here and able to hop into game number 2. Hopefully, as the season goes on, we'll be able to kind of minimize the amount of time that we do have in between these games, as we are getting...
There's a lot of new processes that players and admin as well are going to have to adjust to for rule's sake, so it's to be expected.
All that to say, I'm an old man. It's past my bedtime, but it's all right because it's for the sake of Mobile Mayhem. So it looks like we do just need one more player readied up, and we should be good to go. Search and Destroy on Standoff again. That's not typically a map that we see multiple Search and Destroys on, but definitely one of my personal favorites. I believe we are all readied up and good to go for game number 2.
Yeah, definitely should be a good one as we get on into it. Again, both of these teams were able to prove themselves in champs, hopefully they'll be able to do the same here in Mobile Mayhem for our Search and Destroy matchup. We should be getting ready to get in the game here pretty soon. Mangoes and Legacy performed pretty strongly in our Tuesday matchups for their qualifiers, but again, I really would like to see this team try to run Asta a little bit more. He was an incredibly strong player, so definitely, in my opinion, a little bit of a hindrance to not have him here today up against Nova, who clearly have got their practice in on phone.
Yep, just waiting on a couple different things. Keep in mind, chat, we do have changes to both Hardpoint and to Domination. Search and Destroy remaining the same at 6 rounds with a time limit of 120 seconds. So the only changes as far as scoring goes is to the point limit for Hardpoint and for Domination. Not really a whole lot of changes as far as what is available for Search and Destroy as well. I'm not 100% positive of what maps are available. Wait, what? I'm reading Splinter's message from 19 minutes ago, and I don't know what that was in reference to. I am confusion. Anyways, it looks like all of our players are ready up, so we should be good to go for game number 3. Momentarily, we do have bans on the chopper in the ASM-10, so that's something to keep in mind. If we do go to a game number 3, it will be Domination on firing range, with Hardpoint, Hackney Yard, and S&D firing range being the 2 banned maps. And honestly not sure what we're waiting on right now.
Hard to say. Hopefully B is letting us know what we're waiting on right now. Of course not. That would have been too easy.
Zim says
okay,
go.
Zim says go. So let's go. Let's get into our matchup. Once again, this is Nova versus ExSet. Nova just came off of a very, very dominant win in a Hardpoint scrapyard. We're now moving into Search and Destroy standoff. Map that both of these teams are very familiar with from Season 4 of Mobile Mayhem. So definitely would expect to see maybe a little bit closer of a competition here. But still, obviously, anybody's game. So
yeah, we do see an aggressive start off the bat once again. Nothing too surprising. We do have ExSet pushing up into the bottom site. We are going to have Band finding the trade onto Legacy. And oh my gosh, frags coming in left and right. 2 snipers available for ExSet, but not a whole lot of versatility. Medusa lands the kill onto the Cypher. Will get taken out by, I believe it was Sexy right there, and it will be Nova Invictus taking round number 1.
Yep, Nova came off of a strong win and then had a pretty strong win in round 1 here of Search and Destroy. So they are off to a good start. Legacy, Medusa, and Mangoes were all able to find a kill in that first round, but they were not able to find 5, so have to see if maybe they play a little bit more passive this time around or what. But so far, that is Saxy picking up a kill onto Meralto. That's not what you like to see, to lose your main sniper, or at least what I would have considered to be main sniper for ExSet. But Medusa has 2 on the board now, so definitely going to be a player that we have to watch out for their sniping capabilities. I've always been a big fan of Meralto, so I definitely would like to see him succeed, but
yeah, definitely an interesting, not necessarily a substitution, but in addition for ExSet could definitely play a bigger role for them. Mangoes on the back side of the dumpster over toward back alley, not able to spot anybody right here. We do have somebody on the heady Band laying down shots, not able to get the kill as of yet. 4 players remain for each team right here, and with ExSet pretty content to sit on the backside of Grandma's. They're going to be forced to apply some pressure right here. Where was Band? I don't understand how Band got that kill. That could have been maybe a wall bang or something, but Something ridiculous. 3 players remain for each team. Medusa slides the corner. Is going to be able to get the kill. It will be a one-man advantage for ExSet once again, and he is looking to find another frag right here as Parrish and Saxy still remain. Parrish over on boxes. The plant is going down onto A, not able to land the shot onto the planter, and the pressure is now on for ExSet. Medusa, or the pressure's on for Nova. Saxy trying to get the frag right here. He's able to get the first one. Wow, what a drop shot. The movement from him. It's going to be an easy defuse for Nova off the start, and that's going to be a 2-0 win for them heading into the game.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see, what Saxy ends up deciding to pull out for a majority of this season, because previously we knew Saxy is a very aggressive shotgunner, quite often using the by 15 as opposed to some of the other popular shotguns of the time. Medusa over on the side of ExSet, 3 kills to lead his team, and is actually tied with Band and Saxy for the side of Nova. Parrish was looking to find a kill on the Medusa there, but unable to find the bullets to connect. Looks like he's still just being quite a bit of a distraction. This is a pretty dangerous game to play up against a sniper who's in window, but Saxy is able to find the kill. Definitely not a gun we typically see Saxy use. Again, quite often we saw him use the shotgun specifically on this map because it's been so strong, but maybe he's just decided that, hey, search and destroy is not the way. Maybe we'll see it in respawn, but only time will tell. We do have Saxy just barely missing the head of Impulsive there. He'll make it out alive, and Meralto does find his first kill of the game, picking up the kill onto Parrish. Band does find a Legacy as well. Impulsive gets hit markered by Saxy. Dangerous position for ExSet to be in. They're already down 2 rounds. They're now down a player in round 3, but just as I say it, Meralto finds kill number 2. Impulsive finds a kill for himself as well, putting him on the board, and just like that, ExSet with 2 kill swing find themselves a 3-2 lead as far as players go.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really big. Impulsive trying to make the push over to boxes. It's going to be a 2v2. Lewis is going to be the only player remaining for Nova Invictus, and Impulsive and Mangoes applying the pressure. The bomb is in the hands of Impulsive. He's likely going to go for the plant right here, as he does have Mangoes holding things down for him. Doesn't really have to worry too much about the push. Should have been an easy frag for Mangoes. He had the head glitch to work with. It's not going to matter. Lewis now in a 1v1. Impulsive doesn't have a sniper in his hands, and Lewis knows he could be able to get the frag. He's going to be able to do it. Nova Imperium, time and time again, been able to find the right solution to every problem. They're going to be able to close out round number 3 as well to make it a 3-round lead, and looking like they could very well be marching their way to a 2-0 victory.
That was such a big clutch up from Lewis there. Desi, the only player on the side of Nova currently without a kill, but it doesn't seem to matter. They have a 3-0 lead, and they're on defense at this point. So it's been a phenomenal game out of them so far. Everybody on ExSet has kills, but just not the kills that they need to find a round. Desi, I was just mentioning, not a kill on the board, finds a double kill for himself, and that is a exceptional way for him to start off round number 4. It's a 3-for-1 trade in favor of Nova. If you were a gambling man, you would say they definitely have the advantage. But Meralto, what a huge double kill that was for the side of ExSet. Doesn't matter. Saxy's up in the window. Saxy guns him down. That's a 4-0 lead for Nova. And this Nova team, at least up against ExSet, starting to look like this is going to be one of the quickest 2-0s of the night.
Honestly, for the sake of the clip, I was really hoping Meralto was going to close out the 1v4, but unfortunately it was not meant to be. As hit the first couple shots, but wasn't able to make it all happen. Sending the nade over top, trying to get some damage onto Lewis. Trophy system slowing things down pretty quickly right here. Yet to see a first blood, and honestly a pretty passive strategy for ExSet over onto the A site, which is usually one of the easier to push. Meralto's finally applying some pressure right here. Spots one player on Tractor, not able to land the shot though. It's actually Saxy getting the first blood right there. Nova, like we said, all the right frags at all the right times, and finding another one onto Legacy right there. Meralto's snipes just not really seeming to be there right now. He's going to get shut down. Mangos is all by himself, not able to win the gunfight. And it is now Nova Invictus, 1 round away from closing things out into 2-0.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal night here for Nova. This is definitely a much different Nova that we saw from Season 4, so we will have to see if they're able to change things up based around that. Maybe this season will just overall go better for them. Again, a lot of players now forced to use phone as opposed to tablet, so we will have to see what we're able to pull from that. There's obviously still a possibility that ExSet could make a comeback here. I think we saw a game earlier go all the way up to 4-6 that was looking very much in favor of NL. But a fast bomb plant coming out of Lewis there is going to force ExSet to face 5 members against a 35-second clock in potentially the last round of this matchup.
Big shot from Meralto right there. That's actually going to be a first blood for ExSet, but still more pressure to be found. He's not going to be able to land shots onto Lewis. Should have been an easy shot for him. Somehow Lewis gets out of that alive. I don't really understand it. It's actually going to be Saxy finding a frag. Impulsive gets a trade. 3 players per team. The pressure is on. Only about 7 seconds to work with. Legacy's going to try to go for the defuse right here. It's not going to happen. It's going to be Nova Invictus. And actually Ban getting the 2-piece there at the end. A 2-0 victory. And a really big way for them to close things out as they do get the win in the final matchup, at least as far as our on-stream matchups go, for Mobile Mayhem Season 5, week number 1.
Yeah, that was a really, really big way for them to close it out. Not only did they very dominantly win the Hardpoint matchup, they came through with a 6-0 sweep in Search and Destroy against 2 teams that, based off of last season's performance, we would have thought would have came through very even. I thought this would have been a game to go to a Game 3 domination, and Nova just absolutely nutty performance. Meralto struggled quite a bit in the respawn as well as at the beginning of Search and Destroy. Did close out 6 kills for his team there at the end, but again, just not enough consistency across the board for ExSet for them to even find a round. Even the rounds that were close, it was like, they were close, but no cigar. And a majority of the matches, at least for Search and Destroy, were just Nova absolutely dominating their positioning. Saxy 8 kills, Lewis 7, Band and Parrish 6 apiece. Desi, we talked about him struggling, 0 kills on the board for a while there. Found a big double kill when the team needed it most. So overall, Nova just performed today. Nova showed up and ExSet didn't.
Yeah, this Nova team is definitely one that I'm excited to watch. I know, especially with the switch from tablets to iPads, this is one that a lot of teams have talked about. It's going to be one of the teams to watch just because they do have so much experience, especially between Decipher, Saxy, and Lewis, and their experience in Stage 4 of COD Mobile Champs. Even though ExSet was technically the second place team in COD Mobile Champs, really just got absolutely manhandled by this Nova Invictus team. And definitely going to be one of the teams to watch, taking a look at the standings before we do head out right here. Obviously some updates to happen, but definitely going to be an interesting season. Lots of new teams, lots of teams to watch, and lots of changes as far as the rosters as well. But that is going to be it for our first night of regular season Mobile Mayhem for season number 5. As always, do appreciate the admins for helping us out with facilitating everything today, with helping me with casting and everything else. We will be back on Tuesday, same time, same place. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Trovo channel. And that's going to be it for the stream. I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, drop a follow, and we will see you guys in the next one.